Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to MTGCardMarket Wednesday Night Modern. I'm Matthew Cartier, joined here in the booth by Dan Dwan, hoping to see some good Modern tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a lot of familiar faces out here tonight, so we'll just throw it down to the player and get started here.
Absolutely. So as we look down here, we're going to be watching tonight for our first match. We have Nicholas Wilde, regular of the shop, versus Ryan O'Malley, also regular of the shop. I know that Ryan is generally a green-white Tron player.
And he just flashed the Path to Exile, so
Gotcha.
Presumably that's what he's on.
Yep, and Nick Wilde is playing... I saw the deck beforehand. I don't really have, like, words to describe it other than you know, Bant and creatures and collected company.
I mean, those are three things that are, you know, can be good.
Oh god, what is the... He's playing, though, I'm gonna go to Gather and try to look this up, but basically it's a 3-mana 5/6 that makes you top a creature you control when it ETBs. And it's 1 blue-green, so hang on. Blue, add, green, add, power...
I cannot say I'm familiar with this card.
6, add, search. Alright, well... Null Tread Gargantuan. We'll put it up on the right here for y'all. Da-da-da-da. Alright, so yes,
I mean, this is a hell of a card.
Yeah, it's also not really... I'm not going to put Null Tread Gargantuan as next deck. We'll go with just Bant Company. And on the left, we'll put the green-white Tron. It looks like... There was a mulligan from Ryan, though. So, this is how Nick's deck wins the Tron matchup, by the way. Is it mulligan? Is Tron mulligans and never draws Tron.
Oh, okay. It's as if you described every strategy to beat Tron.
Yes. I mean, you know, with Burn, you can actually kill them sometimes, you know, or Infect, although no one plays that deck anymore. Rest in peace, Glistener Elf. You will be missed by none of the Tron players.
I mean, it's not like, you know, Infect is bad. It's just
not doing things.
It's
right
just
now.
not popular right now.
Well, looking at this hand of like 5 threats and 1 land, I can't imagine Ryan is super happy, especially because I don't think he has a green source to cast that Ancient Stirrings.
Right, having redundant threats in hand is never great, especially when one of them is a Ulamog. That's one of the least castable cards in your deck.
Yep. Is there a creature with Miracle, Benjamin Barry asks. We can find that out for you. You could also find that out.
Is there a creature with Miracle?
Yes.
There is not.
Well, that's unfortunate because I was gonna just put creature and Miracle into Gather and see what came up.
No. I am fairly certain about this.
Okay, you're correct. There are 0 of them. Good call.
But there are just about every other effect.
Yeah.
You know, there's a.
It looks like Ryan's going to 4 now.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess that's a good start.
Yeah, for Nick, this is you know, it's never you never like excited happy to see your opponent mulligan, but you're also just like in your heart of hearts, you're like, whew, like, you know, maybe I actually get to play Magic instead of getting carned out this game.
I mean,
all right.
I see Tron pieces.
I see Tron pieces too. Gonna keep looks like a star on top. Ryan is on the play, which is about the only thing he's got going for him.
Yeah, no, is this a different Tron piece?
I believe it's a tower.
Okay, so that's a very good start then.
Add green, draw, find. Oh my god, he found an Ancient Stirrings. Oh, but he's just gonna scrying and said, what is this? The turn 3 Tron on a mulligan to 4? Oh my god. So now just Ryan just like has to draw a threat, I believe, because those are all the Tron pieces. Meanwhile, Nick Wilde going to fetch down here, presumably going to 19. Unfortunate for Nick. I think he's playing like 8 mana dorks, so.
Yeah, also Ryan has a star in hand, so, you know, even if he draws a green source, you know, a green spell, still can cast it.
Yeah, I mean, he did. Well, the thing is, he also has an Ancient Stirrings. He's going to get to dig 5 deep for some of Magic's biggest and baddest spooky monsters.
I mean, that's excellent. Even if he takes next
Nick
turn.
draws a Coiling Oracle.
All right. Some of
Put
these
that on the
things
right
are...
here for you. That is a Jace Vryn's Prodigy, however, choosing that 2-drop instead of a different 2-drop for that looting action. Draw here is another egg. So Tron is online.
Okay.
Play this. Crack it.
For green. We can still play Worm Coil here.
We can also just play Ancient Stirrings.
That's also fine. But with 5 mana...
Stone.
Ugin?
No. I don't think that was an Ugin.
There's definitely an Ugin. The second card is an Ugin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know how Nick's deck ever beats an Ugin. Oh, my God.
And also, Ryan has a map in hand that he can crack and play.
This is true. He can do this with the mana provided by Urza's Tower. Wow. And then next turn, so we're looking at a turn what?
Turn 4?
Turn 4 Ugin?
Yeah. So the sequencing might be a little off here. Ryan also has a star in hand.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, he's gonna get a Sanctum.
Strictly better.
Strictly better. This is insane. Ryan Mulligan to 4.
Yeah. So the thing is, Ryan might have been able to sequence a tad better. Mm-hmm. He has a star in hand, and if he plays the star, he can't crack it as well.
I see.
So he could, go one card deeper, but I don't know how Nick beats an Ugin.
Presumably by attacking it with Null Tread Crusher.
I mean, yes. You're not wrong.
Okay. Good to know.
But Ugin will be at, 10 or something like that.
I mean, whatever Nick's putting on the board is just going to get minused on.
Yeah, if Nick doesn't put anything on the board, Ryan can just bolt the...
Oh, that's the beauty of it, right? Okay, 3 mana. Renegade Rallier. Cool.
Okay, cool.
Value plays happening. Gonna crack the fetch again, go to 17. So, yeah, Renegade Rallier is great and stuff, but I feel like if you just go Ugin -3, you basically force Nick. I guess Nick could have, collected company and things, but...
Nick also had to play... I mean, if he didn't know about the Ugin, he could try to be aggressive, right? He could have looted away a card, then Renegade Rallied.
Well, this is my Ugin, Ryan says. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Mm-hmm. And now he's going to search for probably an Ulamog, maybe a Karn.
So it depends on what Ryan has in hand. I
think he has an O-Stone. Yeah. Oh, he's going to search for a Worm Coil.
See, I'm not as big of a fan of this because...
You're playing against a white deck.
Yeah, Worm Coil is pretty soft against Karn. Path.
Yeah, I actually 100% agree. I'll be interested to see what Ryan wants to do with the Ugin, though.
But again, next turn he could cast the Worm Coil, whereas another creature he could get is World Breaker is not that exciting, and Ulamog is kind of lights out. But
okay, so Nick will loot with the Jason response to the Ugin minus.
And he has multiple Cocos in hand, which is an excellent way of getting yourself back into the game.
I agree. He really does need to find something, though, especially because Ryan does, I believe, have an Oblivion Stone in hand. Nick draws a Duskwatch Recruiter, it looks like. Draw step for Ryan. So he's got, some stars he can cycle, or he can, just play this Worm Coil. So Nick says Worm Coil's fine. I don't know without a path, though, how Nick beats the Worm Coil, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Nick is kind of pressing.
This card wins combat against everything.
He can always Nick can always Reflector Mage.
This is true.
Also, Ryan left 1 mana floating and chose not to play the star in hand.
Okay, so Nick with a Nissa Vastwood Seer and a Coiling Oracle. This is super. Look, if this were a Jund deck Nick were playing against, this would be insane, right? You get, you're just your card advantage at this point is sort of lights out. But how do you actually beat Ugin Worm Coil?
Yes. These are excellent questions.
And Nick will also reveal to Coiling Oracle here.
Yeah.
Oh, and he gets to play that. Wow, he does get to flip the Nissa. Because he can...
Yeah, once he plays this land, he can...
Oh, and he draws a path, too? Oh, we're cooking a little bit.
All of a sudden, this is not lights out.
Yeah, this is why I don't like the Worm Coil as much. I would have preferred, I guess, World Breaker, especially because he does have a star. I think I like the World Breaker a little bit more. Yes, it also gets answered by Path, but at least you get some value out of, like, casting it.
Right. I think, I absolutely agree with you. Ryan also, like, with the Ugin at 3, he can't clear the board without losing the Ugin.
Well, it was, so I believe he just -3'd it again. He brought in the net 7, he put it down to
5.
No, he -3. So he went 7 down to
4.
Oh no, sorry, it's been attacked by the Coiling Oracle. That's what it is.
Okay. And the Nissa.
Oh yeah, the Nissa did hit it. Okay, yeah.
So, yeah.
And then the Nissa transformed when Nick played his land. 2 mana, another Coiling Oracle. The problem here is I believe Ryan can go -2 because the Nissa is not like a transform card. I actually don't know.
The back it has a CMC of whatever is on the front.
Oh, so that is also for the Flipwalkers?
Right.
Okay. I didn't realize that. I thought that was just the transform cards. However, Ryan also does have an Oblivion Stone in hand, I believe.
Right. The O-Stone will be good, but the problem is he can't. I mean, so Ryan could be greedy, and Ugin go up.
Yeah.
And if Nick can't hit a good Coco, save the Ugin with the O-Stone.
Right. We will see what he chooses to do here. Okay, so we're going to put the O-Stone into play.
Because Nick right now doesn't have enough power to really pressure this Ugin. Especially, I believe the Ugin plus is +3.
That's +2.
Oh, it's a +2.
Yeah. Look here, +2.
Correct, right. Okay, so I'll go to 5. There's only 2 power on board, so, I mean, Nick has to Coco into something.
I think Ryan has to respect the Coco a little bit, though.
Yeah, but, like, if you go -3, all of a sudden, like, how are we winning this game, right? Like,
I mean, you could Coco into some pretty reasonable stuff.
Your -3 doesn't beat a Coco anyways, right?
That's true.
So, like, we're not playing around Coco. I think we go up here.
Yeah. Plus to 5. Target what? Target redirect to Nissa. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not 14. So it stays at 14. I believe Ryan is going to pass. But Ryan does have activation mana up for Oblivion Stone. So, like, even if Nick puts a ton of power into play, like, he can just say, like, we're going back to square one.
Sure.
Nick choosing not to Coco, though.
So the Coco would need to add 3 power, which is pretty reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
But
this is instead a Tireless Tracker. Plus. Top card, Ojutai's Command.
Yeah. So also one thing that Ryan did that I'm not a huge fan of, he shot Nissa. I would have much preferred shooting a Clove, an Oracle.
Sure, just keeps the pressure off your Ugin.
Yeah, especially like if you do that, there's only 1 power that can attack the Ugin.
Right. Yeah.
And presumably, like, you don't care about the Nissa. Like, the Nissa is going to plus anyways, right? The minus is irrelevant in the face of an O-Stone and an Ugin. So, with that in mind, like, if right now he has the problem again that Nick is going to hit the Ugin for 2, and then all of a sudden you have no more Ugin if you want to clear the board.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up Oblivion Stone here.
You're right. So if,
hold on. I think he might be going for a play with this. Right. Yeah. So okay. So what Ryan can do is EOT. He can fate counter the Ugin.
Correct.
Untap, nuke the board.
Yes.
Like, I don't. So like, I like this. I think this line is fine.
Oh no, absolutely. And this is why Nick kept Coco in hand as well.
Because he knew this line too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It draws another O-Stone. Pretty good actually.
Yeah. So one of the. I mean, I think Ryan would have much preferred a threat here.
Mm-hmm.
Just because the O-Stone, like, again, he doesn't have the mana to play it, activate the other one.
He does. He has 8, so he can play the. He can play the first. He can play the second stone after activating the first, but only if he does it at sorcery speed.
Yeah, I think for Ryan, I would activate this O-Stone on upkeep.
Okay. Yeah. So then that way a Coco won't give him haste, won't give his creature pseudo haste.
Correct. There's no reason to activate the O-Stone here.
Okay, that's fair.
And Nick's gonna just cash in some of these clues.
tracker grows bigger. I don't think that matters that much, though.
No. If Nick had tapped out, the O Stone would clear out the clue tokens as well. But,
right. Yeah, that was the other thing that I realized is like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, but I think Ryan definitely wants to upkeep this, or our worst draw step it.
Yeah, draw step. Get that nonsense out of here. The fate counter comes off, and Nick also. It should be noted that Nick is at 9 life, so like. He's got some digging to do to get out of this.
Right, has a ton of cards in hand. Has a Dust Watch, can like go to town with the Dust Watch, but
I just don't know if it's enough.
Right. I mean, Nick having the Ojutai's command in hand is helpful in that you can answer a Worm Coil. You can put something back on.
He has another path too.
Yeah, you can put something on the battlefield at instant speed, which is, inherently very powerful.
Right.
Like, end of turn, he can Ojutai's command back to Jace, and then next turn, flashback to Coco.
Right. Yeah, so, and this is nice. So, Ryan is going to eat a draw step Vendilion click, which is good because he did just draw the World Breaker. And that leaves his hand, again, he has another O-Stone. He can...
Yeah, so his hand is, like, not great. I think O-Stone's the clear pick here just because it's the only one that does anything.
Right.
The World Breaker is not exciting because it's going to...
There's so many lands.
No, it's going to get Ojutai's commanded.
That too.
So Ryan's really looking for a Karn here.
And he does not find one. He finds instead. He does find a land, though, and giving him more mana is pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he has some redraws in these stars. Ryan also has the ability to shoot down this click.
I like plus on the click. It does attack for 4. It can really pressure the Ugin if it wants to. This looks like a World Breaker?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is kind of forcing Nick to respond to this. So if Nick chooses to Ojutai's command this, he can't bring anything back.
Because it'll get minus on, right?
Because it would just get minus on. At the same time,
Nick. Oh no, he has a Hallowed Fountain. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Says go to 6, or sorry, go to 7 and do it to what? To you? I think he faced the bolt. Yeah, I think Nick at 6, because none of his creatures have died.
I'm a little surprised by this. I mean, Nick is very low, and the Ugin does provide a good clock, but this doesn't play very well around path. Like,
I agree. Also, this Collected Company could put a bunch of power on board, but it looks like it's okay. Wow. Okay, so that's actually like Sylvan Advocate, which is like a 4/5.
Yeah, this is a
Sylvan Advocate, Noble Hierarch, the 2 hits. And so then Nick presumably will use Path to kill the.
Yeah. So now you lose the Ugin for no reason at all.
Right. Yeah, and I mean you're left threatless against a pretty big board that you do need to draw another threat against.
Right. I think that's kind of a misstep. I mean,
right, because now this gets attacked for the Ugin dies exactly here.
Nick even had the play of Ojutai's command back the Jace to get another path. Like this Worm Coil was not living.
Or the World Breaker.
The World Breaker, especially because Nick allowed it to resolve in the face of like we knew about the Ojutai's.
We knew about the Ojutai's command. The fact they let it resolve suggests that he had another way to deal with it.
Right.
Here comes a Duskwatch Recruiter. So Nick gets wrecked if Ryan redraws into an Ugin or something.
Yeah, but I'm not entirely sure how many there are. All right, we're gonna go ahead and exile all the cards in the graveyard. Ryan he has another draw at this, so
yeah,
we're gonna see what he can hit. Again, even Ulamog here isn't good because Ojutai's command back.
He does have the Ulamog.
Oh, the path is gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Ulamog, pretty good. This is interesting what we want to hit here, though.
I think you have another Worm Coil in hand. So I think that I would take off the board the... Yeah, this seems fine. As long as Nick doesn't have another path, you're okay.
Yeah, so the Worm Coil is not going to resolve.
The Ulamog isn't going to resolve. The Worm Coil will, though.
I keep saying Worm Coil, excuse me, I meant Ulamog.
Yeah.
And Nick just kind of.
Ooh, that is a 6-power Vendilion click here.
Yeah, I mean this is
a clock. Ryan going to 14 off of the one hit. He has another Sylvan. Nick has another Sylvan Advocate too for follow up. So I mean, Worm Coil is quite good now though.
Yeah.
Like no path available. I think you get your redraw off your star, put another Tron, put a Tron land into play in crack star, it's fine, and then just play your next Wormcoil, assuming you don't find another Ugin.
Alright, so now we're a little bit flooded out. I don't know how many Ulamogs there are, presumably just one.
I think there's probably 2. Most lists play 2. Sylvan's scrying for a land. He's already played his land for turn. But this he can't, Sanctum of Ugin doesn't matter here anymore.
So there's at least another Ugin.
Yeah.
We're getting a good look at his
list. There's more, obviously 4 Karns.
Right. A couple of paths.
At least 2 O-Stones I'm looking at, yeah. Okay, so he's going to get because Nick has a Colonnade. Oh, I actually really like this. The Colonnade is quite good.
Yes.
But, so now the question then becomes, like, how exactly does Nick's deck beat a resolved Wormcoil at this point in the game? Right?
He doesn't, right?
Right, like it's lifelink, it's death touch. You can fly over it with your.
So Nick can hit for 7 in the air, and Ryan's only getting 1, which would be super relevant if Ryan was lower.
But he's not. He's still at 14.
Right.
Yeah, I do think though, because one of the things that Ryan did that I'm not a huge fan of was he played his land before he Sylvan Scrying. If he had the Ghost Quarter now, it would eliminate all threat of Nick.
Yeah.
Hitting him for 4
because hypothetically, if Nick had drawn a path here, I mean.
The game just ends.
Yeah.
Gonna tap 3 mana dorks and 2 lands to activate this Colonnade. Send it in.
Yep. Send in the Colonnade for 7? Oh no, for 9.
Oh my god, Sylvan Advocate buffs the Colonnade.
It does.
Colonnade is, wow, that is a 9 damage hit.
So this is a very crucial misstep.
By not having the...
Right, he took an additional 3 points of damage.
Yeah, absolutely. The Sylvan Advocate is just so good with... Wow, the plays. Okay, so Nick gonna top card
That's a Soulfire,
No, that's a Scout something.
Is that... What?
Scout's Warning. This card. I saw him put it in there myself. But it's like Quicken for creatures.
Right, yeah, so right now, like, Wormcoil is not even good.
Like, if you attack here, it just dies, right? But I don't think you can not attack, right?
No, it doesn't. But the thing is, so he'll go up to 11, and there's currently 4, 7, 9 power on board.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I guess it is good.
Yeah.
Ryan will win this race.
I think you have to attack, yeah. He'll attack. And Nick has to block.
Nick also didn't leave a Hierarch as a blocker. He's going to lose a real creature here.
Right, this is not... Yeah, I think he's realizing... He had so many lands, too. I don't think he realized that.
Yeah, there was no reason to tap like that. So now he has to lose a real creature, and now this is a race we can't win.
I think he's going to double block.
Double block the trade?
Yeah, I mean, both his creatures die.
Yeah, but again, like, this is... How do we win this race?
You do still have a 7 power Colonnade.
No, because there's a Tech Edge, remember?
Oh, there's a Ghost Quarter, you're right.
The Ghost Quarter. Yeah. So,
Ryan says fine.
Yeah.
Goes up to 11. Wow, yeah, this is actually so big.
Yeah, I think, like, you have to do this. Just, like, how do you win
if you don't?
Yeah, how
but
do you
I just, like, you know, maybe, yeah. But now there are 2 3/3s on the board, and Nick is... You know, in a bit of trouble.
Right. The Colonnade no longer is a good attacker, just because it'll die. I mean, one of his best attacks is probably attack with a Noble Hierarch.
Sure.
That way you don't lose a real creature. There's a Coco on top.
He can Scout's Warning for it.
Mm-hmm.
He can Scout's Warning for the Coco.
Yeah, and Nick has a
Spell Queller. Not exactly helped by the Scout's Warning.
No.
I think he's gonna... Is he gonna make... No, he's just gonna Scout's Warning.
Yeah.
Huh. So top card. Oh, the top card is the Null Tread Crusher. It's a 5/6.
It is. It cannot be Death Touch, though.
No. It cannot. Nick is going to... 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, that's not an Advocate.
Also a Smuggler's Copter. Kitchen Finks. I really like Null Tread. Null Tread, put your... I don't know what back on top. He's gonna... Oh, wow. Oh, he's gonna put his Hierarch back on top? Okay.
Uh-huh.
We'll pull him Null Tread Crusher again, y'all. This is not a card that I would expect.
And also, a bit of a misstep here also. Nick's top card underneath that Noble should have been revealed.
Yeah. Courser, what a card. All right. So now...
But see, now...
Oh, Nick's up to 8 from the Finks.
Yes. So Ryan still needs to find an Ugin. Oh,
this is a 5 power Courser swing.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to keep the Death Touch around, right? Like, how are you beating this no tread without the Death Touch one?
Yeah, I think he's going to take 5. He's going to go
4.
to 6. 4, you're right.
There's only
7,
2 nobles left.
Oh, yeah, because one of them got topped by the Crusher. You're right.
Okay.
Ooh, Ancient Stirrings.
No, this is getting colored.
Oh, Ryan is like, what? What is going on? Oh, no. I don't think he wins. For all our joking, the getting hit by that Colonnade mattered a lot.
Getting hit by the Colonnade mattered, quite a bit. It just represented a lot of damage that Ryan didn't necessarily need to take.
Right.
And now, I mean, we can still tread water. Nick is hellbent.
Nick is hellbent, but not drawing the Hierarch.
Right. Nick
is also out of fetchable targets.
Okay, but I mean, I still don't dislike that. Like,
Oh, no. I think it's right. It's kind of funny.
So what are we gonna draw?
Tracker.
Sure. This
Top card.
Dude. Okay, so we're gonna have 2 redraws here.
Right. Well, no, he doesn't have any fetchable targets.
So 1 redraw then.
Yes.
I mean, that's still, like, all things considered, that's an advocate. That's not terrible.
Jesus. Like, okay. So Ryan is going to live 1 turn.
And top card as well. We need...
Yeah, top card. Top card. This is an attack for 4 in the air.
Uh-huh.
Top card is a Thalia Heretic Cathar.
Okay. Not really relevant. We
need O-Stone or Bust, I think.
O-Stone or Ugin?
Draw step. I don't think we got there. That was unenthusiastic. Unless he's slow rolling like a champ. Nope. That's going to do it. Yeah, Ryan's like, Ugin 3 cards down. Yeah. Nick Wild somehow gets game 1 Bant Company over Green-White Tron. Just grindy.
Yeah, so I think the turning point in that game is Ryan choosing to go face with the Ugin instead of going on
killing the click. Yeah, because then his Ugin lives forever and just kills something every single turn.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of tread water with Coco and stuff against the Ugin, but at a certain point, like, you're just not going to beat a resolved Ugin for like many turns.
Sure.
So all Ryan had to do was just protect the president.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think
all
that's
he had to do was
right.
play Protect the President and tried to close out the game, I think, prematurely.
Right. Yeah, and that's the face bolt, like, it seems like so innocuous at the time, but I really think that if you have an Ugin on board, you just protect that for
forever.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see if they can get we'll see what we can do about getting a good second game here.
I mean, let's not forget Ryan mulled a 4 there.
He did mull a 4, so you figure if he had some redraws, he might have been able to crank one out. If, 1 more card, like we saw that actually. He mulled a 4, 3 cards down there was an Ugin. So a little bit of matching up there.
And Ryan, I also see is taking out the relics, which I think are actually reasonable in this matchup.
Relics don't seem bad. There's Renegade Rallier. There's the little Jace that you saw.
There's Jace. Presumably, there's some Eternal Witnesses in this deck as well.
I don't know. I do not believe there's a single Eternal Witness in the deck for whatever reason.
I mean, if I was playing against this, I would assume there was. Just
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
And there's also Old-Size Command. Like the Relic can get some work done.
Mm-hmm. Don't disagree with that. But maybe he's felt like there's more impactful sideboard slots that he could get. So yeah, and just sort of to preview what we have coming up in the for the breaks, when we're not just commentating live, we had a ton of Modern action this weekend. At the TCG Player State Championships were held. There's some stuff in those deck lists. That's what I'll say. There are a lot of things, as it were, that we will definitely want to talk about because, quite frankly, there's a lot of jank in Modern, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to keep in mind is just all state championships are not made the same, right?
This is true, Dan. This is true.
Like, there's a reasonable chance that some of these were not well attended.
50, 60 people probably, yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
but you go into some of the more rural states.
Sure.
And you never know, but I don't necessarily know how many people played in the Nebraska TCG modern states.
Sure. That's a fair question to ask. The question is if there's a way to display them that's not like horrible and requires you to click on every single state. I'll do a little bit of poking around for a link to something. Maybe we can tweak the parameters of a search on TCG Player's whole deck list.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we're gonna get started here in game 2.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, looks like Ryan has 2 lands and a map.
Seems good enough to me.
Oh, this is a multi 6 as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so that seems like an excellent 6.
Yeah.
All right, and we're gonna start off with Trumpy's map. Finds a Sylvan Scrying, so we're going to hit turn 4 Tron.
Yes. Forest and go. Yeah, you'll correct the map. Okay. Yeah, so we have a Karn coming on turn 4. We'll see what Nick can do before then. Sylvan Advocate the play.
We can put a 2/3 Vigilance
Gonna
into
crack the
play.
map. Yep, Sylvan Advocate, standard All-Star, of course.
Hey, former standard All-Star.
Former standard All-Star is fair.
No, it's just fine.
Yeah, I mean, some green-black decks are playing it, some aren't, It's just a deck. It's just a card. As we saw that last game, though, it did a ton of damage. It was critical for, Nick. Oh, wow, and Nick draws... Wow, so I believe Ryan is going to have a turn 4 Ugin again. He did just draw one. I hope he protects it better this time, but I really... this is Tron just Troning on, man.
Yeah, I mean, when you can play a turn 4 Ugin in back-to-back games, it's quite good.
Well, yeah, so we'll get the last one. I believe that's the mine there. The one that looks
frankly, this doesn't feel fair. Nick may as well be playing standard here. That colonnade could just be, a port town. You went Port Town Forest
Attack Advocate. You for 2. Yeah, Port Town Forest Advocate. What?
That's fine. Here's Karn. Exile that.
Yeah, the question, I think Ryan probably just goes Ugin, right? You can't not.
Yeah, alright, so Nick takes 2 here.
Or just, reveals a land from his hand for another Port Town. Just going to pass it back on 3 mana, though.
So to me, this screams Spellcaller.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
But, you know what doesn't care about Spellqueller?
Ugin?
The Spirit Dragon himself.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I feel like you just play the Ugin, right? You cycle the sphere, and in the process you make a Planeswalker.
It's hard for it to be punished, right? If you kill the Advocate,
if you plus on the Advocate, you're so far ahead.
Yeah, you don't. Oh, so he's gonna go with the Karn line instead.
Okay. Also fine. Just again, I think you minus on the Advocate, right?
There's an argument for minusing on the lands.
But given that Nick left mana up, he'll probably just float Flash Queller. Right, and then your Karn dies?
Sure, but I don't think I mind that, right?
That's fair. Because this just forces Nick to commit harder into the Ugin.
Right, and I probably also would have taken the Forest. We saw from game 1, it looks like the deck is very base grain.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Although the Colonnade has to be given Ryan a little bit of a spook.
Mm-hmm.
Nick will go to 16 here. Does have another land, so not going to get completely locked out like that. But this is where the -3 on the Ugin is super good.
Yeah.
Nick's tapped out. Yeah, sure, you have an O-Stone, but, just play the Ugin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interestingly, one thing that I noticed is that Ryan is playing a basic Plains Innistrad deck, which is not it's not like I've seen it before, but it's not.
I would say it's
an
not
adaptation,
standard, right? Like the problem is like if you ever draw basic planes, that casts one great, spell in your deck.
Yeah, or however many. But okay, so Ancient Stirrings will resolve here. Ryan gonna get a look at his top 5. There's a lot of good stuff in there. I see a Thragtusk that he can cast this turn. But it looks like he's just going to reveal Wormcoil, probably play that, force Nick to have a path.
Also, you can't get Thragtusk off of Ancient
Stirrings. Oh, you're right. Thragtusk is green.
Yes.
Whoopsies. But yeah, so now you just go plus to face. Like, you can go face safely here, putting Nick to 13. And then it is possible that you...
Personally, I like running out the O-Stone here.
Yeah, just play the O-Stone. Yeah. Yeah, path is really good. Against this, but I think we're gonna get it. Yep. Okay.
Once
O-Stone go.
Yeah. If Nick cannot kill,
if you can't put 6 power on board with this Coco, then you lose, because then he fate counters and then he just has an indestructible Ugin.
Yep.
But 6 power is not out of the question.
No, it certainly isn't.
Reflector Mage. Okay. So it was close.
I mean, this is like, aside from Nova Harak, this is the lowest power creature in the deck, right?
And birds, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it doesn't look like, barring like a Gideon emblem or something, like it does not have Gideons in there. This will mean the Ugin does get fate countered and then lives. So
this also
Ugin will take a hit down to 2, while looking at what I believe is a Coiling Oracle. Yes, sir. Oracle flip. Collected company, draw. So Wild has at least one more company in hand. Ryan says fate counter this Ugin, and we will untap, take a look, draw. Draws another Tron land. I would just crack the O-Stone. Maybe what are we bolting? Okay, we're just gonna bolt a mage off the board. Keeps the Ugin alive. Even without it, and now we have Wormcoil. Okay, yeah, so I really like this, actually. So you play Wormcoil, and you still, because you have a tower, you still hold up O-Stone.
Yes. Also, this means that Nick needs path here.
Exactly, path, yeah.
Or another Reflector Mage,
Yeah, I don't know how many of those there are.
The funny thing is, I suppose...
Ooh, and he fate counters the Wormcoil now.
What else is also good? Ultra-Size Command would have been good there too. You could buy back a Reflector Mage.
No, you can't. I believe it's
it's CMC 2 or less. You're correct. You're absolutely correct. Actually, so looking at the way that Ryan tapped for that, he didn't have O-Stone pop.
No, he did. He had Tower 2 basics. That's 5.
Oh, 2 basics.
Yeah, he has planes. So looks like he'll crack that for green, have a mana floating, and hits the Ancient Stirrings off of it, which is just like, that's when you know you're in business. So like Ulamog would be so good here, but maybe just like backup O-Stone for...
Like, I don't hate a backup O-Stone.
Also, this Ugin is out of control. Also, this Wormcoil is going to be out of control very shortly. Swing.
Yeah, so we gotta just remember that O-Stone is not in play.
Right, he needs to pick that up.
I'm sure they'll quickly realize that.
And Nick will Collected Company. Lands, Hierarch, Finks, and...
I don't even know what the best case scenario here is.
Oh, he gets a Null Tread Crusher and a Finks. Put the Coiling Oracle back on top. Gain 2 life from the Finks. Go up 15. Now we go to double block here.
So Ryan could crack the stone. So if Ryan was going to crack the stone, he should have cracked it in response to the trigger.
The Null Tread Crusher trigger?
Yes.
Yeah.
That way, Nick doesn't get to go to blocks, and will take 6, and also Nick doesn't get the value from the coil thing.
Right. Yeah. Fate counter comes off.
Also, Ryan doesn't gain any life because of this line. That
he is at 18.
I mean, it's the principle of the matter.
Of the thing? Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, so... And yeah, he's making sure that he plus Ugin on something, draw a card, find Coiling Oracle again. So... so now, I just don't see Nick winning this game, right? Fire. Ooh, Lumbering Falls. Put that to 1. Not good enough though. That's the problem, right? Like. Like there's just not.
Yeah,
but Ugin on 1 is. I don't know how. Like that's still pretty bad for you.
But see, here's the thing, right? If Ryan had cracked the stone at the correct time last turn, Nick would be on 3-turn clock.
Right.
He'd be dead in 2 hits. Right now, he's dead. We're still 3 turns from now.
Right. So what I think, I don't know what Ryan has in hand. If he has a second Worm Coil, what I want to see is, so this Bolt looks like it's going to go face. Put Wild to 14. I guess if you mop up the Finks, then you can block with the Worm Coil. Or you just have you have an O-Stone too, but you want to save your Ugin with it. I don't know. There are a lot of decisions that Ryan has. He's just gonna start cycling some stuff though. Just drawing deeper into his deck. I think, it might take one more big payoff card, but I think after that that will close the game. So just making sure that they get the chaining right. Use the floating mana to play this. So he's keeping up Path. Crack this. Draw another card. So many cards. Oh my god. So many cards drawn.
Yeah, but we're actually kind of running low on mana here. I think Ryan does actually have a Path in hand.
He does.
What the Path will not do is...
kill the Lumbering Falls? Draws another Path.
Draws a second Path. Now, it still doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he's going to leave back the Finks or the Worm Coil as a blocker for a turn.
So this plays very poorly around Path.
Around Nick's Path?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Well...
Oh, not even Path. Reflector Mage is also kind of a nightmare.
Nick's going to draw a Coiling Oracle, draw Courser of Crufix.
Actually, I'll take that back. Because Nick needs all of his lands to activate this Lumbering Falls. So only Path was good. Land Path was the only line that would kill the Ugin here.
That's true. So, going to play 3 mana Courser, flip Scout's Warning off the top. Whoo-wee. Okay, so now he can, now he's got Path targets. You can say Path your Courser. But now, it does give Nick another land. This, incidentally, is the 6th land. I believe Nick has a Sylvan Advocate in hand. So, so crunch. Nick says, block with my Coiling Oracle. Ryan goes up to 24. But okay, so if Nick draws a land,
it goes lands.
If he goes Land Advocate, he actually gets to kill the Ugin.
Yes.
Draw. Play Tower, like 7 mana, 8 mana in play right now for Ryan. But if this is a land, oh my god. So now he gets to kill a Ugin for free.
No. Remember, Ryan has a second Sylvan Advocate in hand.
Second Path.
Second Path to exile. So
so you kill the Advocate. Yeah. As long as Ryan sees that, he's fine.
Yeah.
Also, Nick does also still have no way to deal with this Worm Coil.
And if Nick goes for this line, he will not be dead on board, but he'll fall to 4. And be completely tapped out for this line. I mean, obviously Nick has to just go for it because if we don't do this, there's no way we're winning this game.
And while Nick is fetching here, I'd like to give a shout out to Holer, Vespazos92, and Brando1980 for following. We appreciate the follow. Appreciate you guys supporting the stream. Swing at your dude, but instead this Path will meet your Advocate. So Ugin goes to 2.
Very good that Ryan saw this line here.
Yeah, Ryan just instantly picking that up. Pretty decent, and now Nick is sort of stuck, and now he's gonna fate counter the Ugin too.
Yeah. I mean, as one does.
Yeah. The nice thing about O-Stone though, or I guess the bad thing for Ryan, is that it does not get Lumbering Falls because it's non-lands. So pretty good. Ooh, wow, Ancient Stirring's a draw too. That's quite excellent here. First though, an attack puts you down to 7.
Yeah, I think Ancient Stirring's first. I mean, I don't know any world where we're not attacking though, so I guess that's fair.
5 cards. Land, Scrying, Map, Karn.
Okay.
Karn is good enough here. You just minus on the Lumbering Falls.
Yeah.
And you sort of lock up the game.
And Ryan needs to not
tap.
also...
Man, we're fine.
Forget to not use the Ugin as well. There we go.
And put you to 3.
4.
4, yeah, you're right. And draw a step for Wild, finds an Aven Mind Sensor. I just think he's dead.
Maybe 10 turns too late.
Yes. I got 2 mana, play a Duskwatch Recruiter? Yep, that's a Duskwatch Recruiter, alright.
Yeah,
I believe it's also foil. Shown a little bit when I cast it.
I don't know what good would, yeah.
So, what comes next?
Yeah.
Nick is like, yeah, you know what? Like, I could pretend that this is gonna happen, but no, I am very dead. Utah Sass looks like we have about 22 players tonight.
Yeah. Smaller field tonight.
Yeah, normally we're up around 28 to 30-ish.
Yeah, we've broken,
we've gotten up to
before.
40s too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go to game 3 here. Nick Wild with Bant Pile versus Green White Tron from Ryan O'Malley.
One thing also to keep note is there's only there's less than 7 minutes left on.
Right. Yeah, and assuming our timer is somewhat accurate, this last game is going to have to be played much more quickly. These have been surprisingly grindy games.
Yeah, I think at no point did Nick look like he was in game 2, right? It just took a long time to close out game 2. But game 1 did drag on for quite some time.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess game 1 is game 1 is the sort of the killer there because this game took about 10 minutes, but the game before it took much longer, like 35. So let's see if Ryan can actually keep a 7 this time.
Yeah. And both of these decks are capable of.
That does not look like a 7 I'm keeping.
Yeah, that's what Forest Ghost Quarter.
Forest Ghost Quarter like double scrying.
I mean that's not terrible. If that hand is what I think it is, though, turn 5 Tron is not good.
Right. I think it's just too slow. But while looking at a hand which doesn't look like it has a land.
No,
maybe it has
a forest.
Land. Okay. Maybe he's on like a 1-lander double path. Yeah, he's on 1-lander double path, and that's what he's thinking
And the path is just like such a narrow card,
yeah.
Right? Yeah, I don't think we can keep that. But fortuitously for him, Ryan kept a glacially slow hand.
Right.
But much like these Tron players, Ryan can just go Tron piece card.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is that Nick is probably dreading that start from his side of the table because I don't he's on a mull of 5. He's going to need some real help to get out of this one.
Yeah, I mean, Nick is going to just have to hope Ryan has nothing. Right?
Ryan almost has nothing, though.
No, I mean, this is exactly the... Is that a no-lander?
I think it's a 1-lander, maybe a 2. Oh, no, it's a 2-lander. I think there's a fetch.
Okay, so a star's not a terrible draw. That means we're doing something here.
But when you see your Tron opponent start on Ghost Quarter, you are a happy camper.
Yeah, I mean, I draws a Coco. Now we can play Coilfane. Maybe we hit a land.
Coiling Oracle into land here would be pretty good.
Coiling into land, into draw a land, play turn 3 Coco is like... I mean, considering you're on mull of 5, this is like the dream.
Agreed. Yeah, so play Coiling Oracle.
So this is very big here.
Right, yeah. If this flips like an uncastable creature or something, like it's not, you're not in great shape.
Yeah,
but if we hit a land, it's real. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like half of a land. Draw step. Find a Karn. Laughably unplayable right now. Crack this for green. Draw. Finds a tower.
And now
into scrying.
Okay, so now we're on the turn 4 Tron plan instead of the turn 5.
Yeah, well, no, because you still, unless he has another green source.
He had a forest in hand, didn't he?
Right, but then, so he's going to have to use,
which makes me a little confused. Why did he lead off on Ghost Quarter?
He had Ghost Quarter Forest. Yeah, I think he would have been better on that too. Yeah. This is an attack for 1. The second Coiling Oracle also fell
there's no reason to ever lead off on Ghost Quarter, right?
I agree.
Unless that wasn't a forest.
Ugin the draw.
Okay.
Yeah, see, this is the problem here. Like, I think he's realizing that he can't do it.
That looks like a... No, that is definitely a Stirrings. Is that not a forest?
He's got a forest in hand, but it's a scrying.
Yeah, okay.
Nick draws his 3rd land, will shock here. The problem is that as soon as O'Malley gets Tron online, I think the game is over. This is an attack for 2.
Nick has Coco next turn,
Yeah, but O'Malley has, okay, so he doesn't just like rip a.
He doesn't rip the Tron piece.
2 mana.
Oh man, Nick, no, Ryan getting brutally punished
for not playing the forest first. Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. There's no reason you shouldn't play the forest first here. But he does find the last piece, and he'll pass the turn back. It looks like he's getting attacked for 4 this turn. I just like an Ugin minus on this board is so devastating, Dan.
No, you're right. But does he have Ugin? I saw.
Yes, he has the Ugin. I am like 89. Yeah, there it is.
Okay, he does have
that.
Ugin.
Yeah, that guy is pretty good.
I mean, it is a little scary. Like
4.
Nick could very much have the gates in the board.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just don't know. Like you just
can't beat
jam
negate,
it.
yeah.
You put that negate so hard.
I mean, it's just like now we're also good because like after this, like we can go.
We're literally playing a huge threat every turn.
Yeah, we're playing a huge threat every turn for the rest of the game.
And this is
fortuitously also you don't have to go -3 here. You only have to do a -2.
I think Nick is gonna float in response.
Yeah.
And just let the. So yeah, you're gonna go down to 5. Yeah. See, the problem here is that even if Nick Coco's into enough power to get the Ugin off the table, the following threats are pretty bad.
There's 4 power.
It's 4 power.
4 power. Okay. Yeah, Nick could not hit
with
3.
a land. He gets a Lumbering Falls online though.
Oh, that's true. And then Nick's gonna have 2 looks at a land. And
speaking of top card, oh, there's the Null Tread Crusher.
Okay, I mean,
or Null Tread Gargantuan. I think I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
Yeah, so Nick's gonna take 1 here.
Right. Oh yes, good interaction. Courser.
We might have missed some of the Courser in game 1, but that's fine.
Give us a -2 That is actually what is going on right now.
Yeah, I mean here you just have to kill.
Attack you for 4. Really? I guess you might what's his follow up here?
I don't think I care about the follow up.
I don't either.
Like I think you have to.
Yeah.
Because it's turn.
Oh, also response to activation Lumbering Falls Ghost Quarter it.
Yes. Oh, right. There's a Ghost Quarter. The turn 1 Ghost Quarter.
Coming in big.
Coming in big. And now there's a World Breaker, and we are getting close to lights out here. I think I actually would have preferred playing the Thragtusk. The Thragtusk guarantees you a blocker and leaves you with Ghost Quarter.
Right. Well, I mean, the World Breaker leaves him with Ghost Quarter too.
Right. But if this gets Path, all of a sudden,
he killed the Lumbering Falls with it. It's fine.
No. If World Breaker gets Path, then there's just 4 power on board. You lose the
sure.
Ugin.
Yeah, that's fair. Play this from the top. Go to 15.
Right, because again, just like game 1, I'm playing Protect the President, right?
Right.
And this is not protecting the president.
No, this president is somewhat unprotected.
Yeah, there could be a sniper on a knoll somewhere.
I mean, there are probably wiretaps inside the Ugin tower. But we'll keep that out of that for now. So block there. Ugin taking 2 more damage goes down to 1.
Here's the Null Tread.
Oh no way!
Okay, so this would be great if Ryan didn't have
infinity threats.
But it looks like they're going into turn.
This is turn 4?
Yeah.
Oh no, Wild might get out with a draw here. Oh, this is crazy. Do everything.
Okay.
Ulamog. He's not going to get another attack though.
He is not. Nope.
Get those off the board. Hit you for 5 plus for 3. Put you to 7, but I think that's it.
Yeah, we'll see if we get a concession here.
Yeah. Reflector Mage, Bouncer Ulamog, fine. And that's a draw.
That seemed like a very exuberant handshake. I'm assuming there was a concession there.
Let's find the match slip.
Yeah, by the book, it's a draw.
Move your head. It looks like we're getting an actual draw because one of the draw things has been filled out.
All right.
Couldn't close it in turns.
I think if Nick wanted to win Game 3, should have conceded Game 2 much sooner.
Sure.
And I think Ryan could have sped up Game 1 a little bit. I think that we lost a lot of time in kind of dead time.
Fair enough. Yeah, so that's going to do it for round one. We'll kick it back up to the booth. So that first game, Ryan just like a little bit overzealous with the Ugin.
Yeah.
Winds up costing him. And then the second game and the third game, though, were just like Tron. Just Tron doing Tron. Even with the miss sequence not playing the forest first.
I mean, like,
he was like if he's a turn faster, right, then he just like wins. So
oh, absolutely right.
That matters
completely. If we're just like one turn faster, like we're on turn 2, not turn 4.
Right. Yeah. And so that's like those are things that you sort of iron out in your game as you play more and more of a certain deck. But also just like both those, like the Bant deck that Nick is playing is so incredibly value focused and grindy that like. I just, like, any game it wins, I feel like, is going to have to be sort of a slugfest because those creatures are not, like, they're not Tarmogoyfs, right? Like, they're not just going to, like, kill your opponent quickly. Like, there's Coiling Oracles and, like...
Yeah. So the thing, the thing with Wild's deck is, like, it's very much go wide, but, like, there's a lot of value, but, like, you're not getting much payoff.
Right.
There's no payoff.
Right. What, like, because the thing is right...
Yes, you can draw, like, infinity lands. But, like, you're not doing anything with it.
Yeah, no, and that's something, you doesn't really have a finisher. Like, so the reason that sort of a similar deck, but, you replace the blue with the black Absent Company, you get the payoff of you gain infinite life, you get infinite bolster triggers, right. You get infinite scries, like, you can cut your deck to anywhere you want.
But we don't even have cards like, the pseudo-finishers, like Voice of Resurgence.
Right.
Where it's like, you can renegade back Voice of Resurgence, and all of a sudden, like, hey, this Elemento's like a 10/10.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, like, there's just no way to close the game.
Yeah, it's definitely relying on just having sort of mediocre creature beats. Like, it has, like, some, like, we saw, like, some Spell Quellers and at least one Vendilion Click, so, like, you do have some sort of aerial presence, but again, it seems like the way you are winning is you're, like, getting over the finish line by attacking with, like, an Exalted Coiling Oracle because you've just drawn, like, 8 more cards than your opponents have.
Right.
But, like, it's, that game plan is somewhat... That game plan can get really, like, just trashed on by a lot of decks, and we saw it in the games when Tron was really functioning like Tron. But we have pairings for the next round, so... He's on Death Shadow.
Cool.
Get him. All right. So Dan is going to hop out of the booth, going to get us another match. I'm going to throw it back down to the play overlay here and start resetting some of the values there. So yeah, if people have thoughts about what they would like to see, we can try to find it again. As we said earlier, it's a little bit smaller of a field, so might not have every single deck that people want, but we can definitely look into getting some of the, getting some decks on camera that chat would like to see. Left deck, right deck. Yeah, so Sylvan Advocate, pretty good, I guess. As we should be underway with round 2 shortly. TX Rager wants control. Can probably find someone playing control. Although, the person that we are about to watch normally does play control. But if it is who it is who I think it is. Alright, so on the right here, we're going to have Vincent Adinolfi. And normally control enthusiasts would be rejoicing, for Vincent is the herald, the standard bearer of everything blue, white, and red in Modern. However, tonight, he has forsaken his former allegiances and is now playing Death Shadow Jund. I did see him put the deck together tonight. I did see that he is not playing Snapcaster Mage. I did see that there are Death Shadows. I also saw, though, that his 4th Tarmogoyf hasn't come in the mail yet, so he is only playing 3 of those. We'll see how this goes. I think there's like a main deck Orzhov Charm or something.
That is not at all the same thing.
Well, I mean, it's basically another Death Shadow, right? You just have to have one die first. Plus, if you kill a creature with it, you lose a bunch of life, make your Death Shadows bigger. Come on, Dan, live a little bit.
I tried, but then I played Orzhov Charm and died because of it.
Have you died to Orzhov Charm?
I think I've played it once.
Okay, in an Abzan list?
No, in like a draft deck.
Oh.
It was still not good.
Do we know if Zhao is playing when he normally plays?
Presumably, yes.
Okay. So, Des, Shadow, Jund. This is like the first and only time that these 3 words will be seen under Vince's name, because I guarantee you he's gonna be like, I'm never playing this deck again after 4 rounds. He won his first round though, so
He
like,
did?
I'm impressed.
What is Shao's on Valakut?
Normally he's been on Bant when we've seen him on stream before.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah. Yeah, as we jump right into the second round here, one of the nice things about the first round going to time is that we immediately get pairings for the second round. As long as they don't do this 4 rounds in a row, we should be all right. So players have shuffled up. Gonna roll some dice.
I'm going to drop some dice.
It's fine. Well, that's a 3 plus 5. That's 8 against a 6. Looks like Vincent's gonna be on the play. Woo-wee! Let's play some Magic. All right, 7 cards coming for both players, and interesting to see what Zhao is on. So, Vincent looking at a Death Shadow Jund hand. Oh yeah, Fatal Push, Mishra's Bauble,
which is extremely expensive now.
Fatal Push?
No, Mishra's Bauble.
Oh yes, that card is extremely expensive. Looking at that 1-lander. And Zhao is on cards that I can't tell what they are. But Vincent looks like he's keeping, so let's jam.
Despite the many weeks we've done this stream, I'm happy to report that Matt still leans over the screen, seeing if we can get a better angle at the cards. And
oh, you're not wrong, Dan. You're not wrong.
Just like week 1.
Dude, I have finals, okay? I'm tired. Vincent going to look at his own library with Bubble, thinking about it. Top it, okay. Well, I guess you can't not top it, right?
Well, so this line is a little less good if we're gonna crack this fetch right now.
Well, that's what I think he was. Well, he has a Street Wraith. So
he has a Street
Wraith.
Yeah, so he has the option to draw.
Not even punished whatsoever.
No, I mean this is absolutely the correct line. Now you have kind of 2 looks into what you want to get.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, also Fulminator Mage, quite pricey. I'm not seeing a reprint in my eyes. Oh, so it is Bant Eldrazi. I do see a Drowner of Hope by leaning towards this monitor. I've been able to ascertain that. While Zhao is thinking about his first play, shout outs to Red Dolph for the follow. Again, we appreciate it. Cavern on Human. Play Noble Hierarchy. Do what you got to do.
Exactly. It's not like your things are gonna get countered this game anyway. So.
But Vincent does get to Tarfire this.
Yes. I presumably he's gonna save the Fatal Push.
Yeah. Although I mean the Fatal Push, doesn't kill a lot of things that Zhao likes to play in this deck.
Yeah, actually, I think
cycle my Street Wraith to 15.
Yeah, I think there's actually an argument for Fatal Pushing this.
And then you're like Tarfying for reach.
So Tarfire can hit a Sky Spawner.
That's true.
And a Matter Reshaper.
Mm-hmm. Whereas you'd have to kick a Fatal Push to do so.
Yeah. Although, I mean, kicking a Fatal Push is not necessarily difficult in this deck.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Vincent has a Death Shadow. He can make it a 3/3 if he cracks into this fetch right now.
His Traverse is also online already.
This is why this deck is kind of insane. Like, let's put, we'll put him down to 12 here. I'm assuming he's fetch shocking.
Yeah, if he fetch shocks, he can Traverse for a Death Shadow and just play it.
He already has one in hand, too.
Oh, so...
So he can Traverse for a second one. Or a Goyf. Probably another Death Shadow, though. Yeah. And thank you to Ermedge for the follow as well. Again, we appreciate you following the stream as we, grind week by week to make Modern something enjoyable for you guys to watch. So, yeah, we're just going to, just gonna go off here, sort of. Yeah. Like, wow.
I mean, presumably you're gonna... Yeah, so, Vincent probably should have traversed for it and then played it instead of playing the one from his hand. Just to conceal information.
But now he has 2 of them.
Well, I mean, he would have 2 regardless, right?
It's fine. Yeah, you're right, though. The information does matter. But, like, look at this. Vincent has a Death Shadow. He's only at 12, so it's only a 3/3. But if it gets any...
1/1.
Oh, sorry, it's only a 1/1. You're right.
Yes.
Wow. But, if it gets any bigger, right, if he has another fetch land, he has a shock land, I see the Godless Shrine there, with which he could, follow up with a Liliana. This is kind of crazy.
Yeah, Xiao's in kind of an interesting predicament. I mean, let's not forget, this is also turn 2.
Mm-hmm.
You're usually not under this much pressure on turn 2.
Wait, look at how many cards Vincent has played, right? He's run through 6 cards already, plus his 2 lands, or I guess the lands sort of go to the fetches, but like he's run through 7 cards.
Yes.
Like this is kind of, and we know he has a Death Shadow, we know he has a Liliana of the Veil in his hand. Just like these super explosive starts are so powerful.
Yeah, it really punishes decks for like being light on removal.
It also punishes Zhao for maybe having Cavern on Human. So, right there.
I mean, based on the context of his hand, it looks like he needed the Cavern on Human.
This is true. Now, but here's the thing though: if I'm Vince, I just go Shockland, like shoot your Hierarch with the Fatal Push and swing.
Yeah, play the second.
Play the second Shadow, yeah. And yeah, Zhao
Shiny Thing 7. Thank you so much for the follow.
So yeah, we'll play the fetch land, and we'll crack. Yeah, wow, this is just again so much pressure from Vincent.
If this isn't Path to Exile,
I believe it's an Ancient Stirrings.
Okay, Ancient Stirrings is fine too.
We'll see. We'll see if it's a Shockland. I would guess it's a Shockland, but I will not.
I mean, considering our currently our only land is Cavern, like I think we have to shock here.
Is that a Temple card?
That is an Expedition of Unknown Variety.
I believe it's a Temple Garden. The breeding pool looks different.
Yeah, it's not a Halathon. No pineapple.
Is that what people are calling it these days? Okay.
The Halathon looks like a pineapple. It is 100% a pineapple.
All right. It's kind of a pineapple.
That's a pineapple.
You're right. Oh, and it was a Path to Exile though, so Vincent does lose the Death Shadow. But now now he can go Shock, Lily minus, Death Shadow, pass.
Yep.
Like,
and your opponent is going to be on. Yeah.
Like, wow. Also notably Zhao with no colorless sources in play. But it was a Path on upkeep. Okay, so Zhao does have the the lay of the land.
If we're gonna path there, we
but I do sort of like just shocking and minusing a Lily here. Right player life go to 10. 8.
So he also has the line of playing Death Shadow and Fatal Push. And I think I prefer that. Just
because you get more pressure.
Because you have something on board.
Oh, Cavern does make colors. You're right. It doesn't just do
Oh, did you say it doesn't make colorless?
I guess it's on Human, but I forgot that it also has the second ability to just make colorless.
Yes.
So what is Vincent's remaining hand? Vincent has a Lily and a card. I am leaning to see it. Zhao will play Ancient Stirrings. Drowner, Cavern, Temple, Path. Can't get that.
I don't even know what he wants here. Like, he needs... I mean, he's got like a Drowner in hand, so okay, so we want to hit lands for this, but like we're so far away from doing it. Or
fortunately, the Death Shadow is just a 3/3 though.
Yeah, it can grow, but
this is a tough decision because the pressure is very real. Even though Zhao's at 17, Vincent maybe has another shock fetch. That Death Shadow becomes like a...
Yeah, also
6/6.
If this is the old version of Death Shadow, like, because like we've seen nothing that would indicate it's not.
He does have Temur Battle Rages.
Yeah, so I mean,
he has. It's only 2, but they are
right. If this is the old list, like we're well in the range of Become Immense Temur Battle Rage.
There's no Become Immense.
Sure.
But there is Temur Battle Rage.
Yeah, the newer version obviously doesn't run those cards, but
I mean they're still playing TBRs in some number, 1 or 2.
Okay. I don't
At least the ones from Vancouver were playing like 1 or 2 just because like
sometimes
you just double strike your Goyf and it's insane. Okay, so Zhao is gonna find Cavern of Souls, probably gonna name Eldrazi with it, but again now on 2 mana past the turn. Ruh-roh?
You're right. So
Lily. All right, yeah, Liliana of the Veil. In play.
Can't really get punished unless Xiao has Lockstone Smiter in his deck.
Or Wiltleaf Leech.
Yeah.
Discarding Marsh Flats? Okay. That is... Marsh Flats does represent damage. This is an attack for 3. Zhao goes to 14. I don't know what Vincent's last card is, but if it was... I sort of... Oh, wow. So does find a temple here. So now this is Drowner mana, and this could be where Zhao turns the game around.
No, this is not Drowner mana.
Oh, sorry, it's Smasher mana.
It's Smasher mana.
Looks like he's going to use all of it.
It looks like a Smasher.
Get that off the board. All right, and this also does beat the Death Shadow in combat, barring Vincent having a shock fetch. But, like, yeah, the Marsh Flats could have been... Oh, wow, but he draws another fetch land, so not punished. Ooh, Dismember, pay 4. Go to 6. Ooh, wow, attack for 7. Put you to 7.
Uh-huh.
The Dismember. So that's big game.
Yeah, so the one line this loses very badly to is what Shao actually has in hand.
Drowner.
Yeah. He needs a blue source.
He has Cavern.
Oh, right, the second Cavern is naming...
It also just loses to Exalted Smasher Swing. Okay, so Displacer, go.
The Displacer would be good for trading water.
Vincent draws. I mean, I think you just have to jam the attack here, right? Like, you can't not. Yeah,
like, if we let Shao untap, all of a sudden he's blinking our things, and we're at 0%. Here, at least you can kill a Noble Hierarch.
Right. Attack for 7. This is a lethal attack.
Yeah.
Zhao does have Path Up, if he wants it.
I don't think he has a Path
yeah.
Up.
That's. I mean, I think he would have. I think he would have used it. Yeah, and now choosing what to block with. Vincent gonna show him the graveyard.
Super Delirium.
Yeah.
I think we have everything but enchantment and tribal.
Yeah, we have creature, no enchantment, no yeah, no. Super Delirium is correct. So these Tarmogoyfs are what?
Oh no, we have tribal. We have
Tarfire.
Tarfire. So this is 8.
No, it's 7.
Oh, 7. Excuse me. Yeah. 7. Yeah.
Block with the Hierarch.
8 is the full power.
And untap.
Okay.
So now, though, I don't know if Vincent wins.
Yeah. So if Shao wants to leave up Blink, he needs to do something with only 1 mana. Okay. So this is still a 2-turn clock.
This is an attack for 4.
And if Vincent if Vincent can't draw removal, he does lose the game.
This is true. This is the problem with Death Shadow. Forest and a card. Are the cards a collective brutality? Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I mean, you brutality the Hierarch, your guy still gets blinked though, right?
Yeah.
But if you brutality the Hierarch, then he loses the Exalted trigger.
You brutality and gain life. You brutality kill the Hierarch, gain life.
Yeah.
It means you're not dead next turn.
Right. Yeah, you force him to use the blink. Not that it's costing him anything, but it does force him to keep it up.
Yeah, I mean Vincent's going to get blinked here, right? Like there's
no way. Yeah, he needs. I think you brutality the Hierarch, you gain life, and then you attack, force the blink.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still in a rough spot. I don't think. I think that, absent like a harder removal spell for this Displacer, he does lose.
Yeah. Because again, the line we're suggesting, and I think the only line you can take, means you're not dead next turn. You're not dead to the board.
Right.
But you're still quite far behind.
Yeah. Death Shadow in 11/11 doesn't matter though, because Eldrazi Displacer is a really good card. Whoop! There it is. Yeah. Zhao is gonna say tap 3 mana, flicker that. Vincent says fine. Now, brutality. Discard Forest.
I'm gonna kill the Hierarch, gain life. I think that's just the only line you can take.
Drain. Is he not gonna gain life? No, he is gonna gain life. Yeah. Okay. So Zhao goes to 5, Vince goes to 4, but Vincent still needs to remove the Displacer.
Yep. And not only that, Shao's dead.
Oh, there's the Drowner mana too.
Yeah, so Vincent is dead to Noble Hierarch. He's
just dead to this Drowner, I think. Or not dead, but like dead in 2 turns, sort of,
So one thing that's actually kind of interesting is by playing this Drowner, he's putting himself dead to
TBR.
Oh yeah, TBR.
Okay.
Whereas if he doesn't play it, he can't lose.
Right. Ooh, good point.
So Xiao has actually, by developing his board,
he's put himself in a position where
has
Vincent
taken
could draw
the one
out,
losing line.
We have yet. I mean, I assume he's going to play the Drowner here, but we have yet to see if he's actually going to play the Drowner. If he does play it, though, Vincent could just draw TBR, cast it, and win.
You're right. Which is shocking, right?
That's not normally how it works. Vincent goes to 1.
Yeah, but if he doesn't play it, he has double blink available. So even
Right.
if Vincent draws a creature, it's not good.
What did he draw it?
I mean, there's nothing to think about here.
Bauble.
A Bauble's not good enough.
The other thing is, no, he's not just dead if Vincent draws TBR, though, because he can just Scion tap your guy.
Oh, right, absolutely.
Yeah,
what are we talking about?
He's not dead. This is fine.
This is totally fine.
That's going to do it for game 1. Death Shadow Jun getting taken down by Bant Eldrazi. Not a whole lot Vincent could do there.
No, I don't think there was. The only line that he could have taken differently was not playing the Liliana to play around Smasher. But I think you kind of have to.
I think you just play the Liliana.
Yeah. No, but oh my god, how do we forget about the Drowner tap ability?
Yeah. Arctic.
That's somewhat embarrassing.
Arctic Hip 85 in the chat. Yeah, you are correct. We are bad at Magic.
Yeah.
I tell myself this a lot, but it doesn't.
Well,
it doesn't help.
Yeah. Admittedly, I am a little bit under the weather, which you may be able to tell via my voice.
Nah, it's fine, Dan.
Yeah, but I don't know if there's any sequence that Vincent could have gotten out of that with.
No, I'm not sure either. Zhao, a little bit slow to start, but as those slow to start hands are, obviously you had a reason to keep it. Had something very powerful waiting. And yeah, so Vincent looking at the board, considering a Kozilek's return, I don't know. I'm not also Dixon Crow in the chat says you sound great, so
No, yeah. So no excuse. So the Kozilek's return, you're never going to be able to trigger the second half. But the Kozilek's return, it clears out Nobles, it clears out Sky Spawner,
clears out
Scions. And Scions.
Scions are a big deal.
It doesn't deal with any of your 4 power hitters. And Thought-Knot, Smasher...
Yeah, I'm not sure what you take out.
I mean, there's a lot of, just,
random
redraws.
Nonsense. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Also, of note, the Mishra's Bauble that we've seen Vince, he's played 2 so far.
I mean, one card I'd probably be interested in taking out are Lilianas.
Yeah, they don't seem amazing here.
Lilianas are particularly bad if, Xiao is going... if you're playing Sky Spawners, Liliana is just, laughably bad.
Yeah, it's quite poor against that combination.
Right. It is also, a deck where it's likely that they're going to have some nonsense creatures, and that's just not really where I want to be.
Right.
It's a little better on the play, but, admittedly, it feels weird to take it out when it's this is a clean way of killing a Reality Smasher.
Yeah, but it is, and it's also kills Thought-Knot on an empty board, but the problem is, Eldrazi sort of has this weird thing where sometimes they get this go wide Sky Spawner, Displace, or Reshaper start, and other times they have the go tall, which is they go Thought-Knot into Smasher,
right.
And Liliana is obviously much better against that draw. But
well, you have to also remember it's not necessarily good against Thought-Knot, right? Because they get a look, so you have to actually just top deck it. So the only card that is actually good against is Smasher.
Sure, yeah,
and that might be an argument enough of hey, we don't want this card.
Right. We'll see what happens here in the second game. This definitely feels like the Eldrazi deck might be just a little bit slower, and that is what sort of, unless Death Shadow goes very, very quickly, sort of prevents it from just sort of running away with the game if it can stabilize in the first couple turns.
I mean, so Eldrazi is going to have a lot of powerhouse sideboard cards, right? Engineered Explosive is something that it usually has. If this is the big version of Eldrazi,
Engineered Explosive is very good.
This Shadow has a lot of trouble dealing with Worship.
Yeah, I don't actually have no idea how he beats a Worship.
You gotta kill all the creatures.
Yeah, but...
Or, you alter Liliana. It's like, have a worship or have the rest of your permanents.
Sure. The Lily minus for the... Lily minus just to get the 1/4 mana enchantment off the board seems good.
Look, you do what you have to do, right?
I mean, of course.
Yeah. Also, one feature of the Death Shadow deck as well is because you're playing cards like Street Wraith and Bauble, what your hand starts out as, it's really hard to tell sometimes.
Right, this is a problem with Gitaxian Probe too, like if you had too many probes in a hand back when, like for example, when I played Storm in Modern, by the way, guys, that was a big mistake. Gift Storm seems great, but I made a mistake of playing like real Storm for a while. You have a hand with 2 probes in it, and you're just like, wow, I have no idea if this is good or not.
Right.
Like, I get to see all their hand, but it is unclear whether or not it is good enough. Vincent, though, does look like he's found a keepable 6 and will no doubt be fetch shocking himself down to 17. Definitely a change in play style for Vince, who we normally see here on camera with,
Wow, so this is
Oh, this hand is insane.
This
hand beats Liliana real good.
Yeah, wow.
I feel like, wow, they're just like infinity sky spawners. But do you take the Displacer here?
So I think, yeah, it's clear. It's either Displacer or Noble, right?
I think it's Displacer. He has the turn 2 Thought Knot. He has the turn 2 sky spawners anyways, right?
Yeah, but the Noble can power you into like doing multiple things.
Yeah, but
I think I take the Displacer here.
I do too.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's just like now Shao's like has a lot of like tempo live draws.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
right. I mean, if he doesn't take the Hierarch and Zhao draws a Thought Knot, he's in like some serious trouble.
Yeah,
but Displacer gonna bite it, and I agree with this.
Yeah.
Like you have to know what's in the hand. Like you have to play to what's in the hand now. And just like sort of cross your fingers because this hand is really good as is.
Yeah, I mean, if this is normal, John, you have a draw to Night of Souls Betrayal, which would be pretty good here.
God,
pretty good.
Daniel, please have mercy on us. Dan here, guys, is a huge fan of that card. By the way, Night of Souls Betrayal. If you see him at events and stuff, you can just talk to him about Night of Souls Betrayal. He will more than happily entertain everything you have to say.
The card is excellent.
All right, champ.
It is truly excellent.
Yeah, so gonna take a look through here for Vince. Shock fetch down to Godless Shrine. I also know that his fetch base is a little bit weird because he's waiting on some Verdance, I believe, to come in the mail, so we shall see what he's got going here. I believe there's another Inquisition, and he also has a Death Shadow.
Oh, so this Collective Brutality makes the Displacer pick make a lot more sense.
True. I just, like, do you kill the Hierarch with it?
Yeah, I mean, what else are you going to kill with it? It doesn't look like you're doing a whole lot otherwise, right?
Yeah, I think do you take it and do you pitch the Forest to look at the hand? No, you keep the Forest because you want the Kolaghan's command up, I think.
Also, like, Shao had to have exactly draw. You know his hand right now is Tempo 3 Displacers.
Right, he would have had to have drawn an instant or sorcery.
3 Sky Spawners, excuse me.
Yeah. Brutality or Hierarch, trade, go. The problem is, so Vince has a Death Shadow, but he also doesn't have, like, an enabler right now to, put it in the, to actually be able to play it. Right now he's at 14 life, which is just a little bit too high. So here is third land, Kolaghan's Command online, and what's the last card?
There might be 2 Death Shadows?
Maybe. Vincent, incidentally, only on two card types for Delirium. So this next turn, though, Zhao can just, like, play another Sky Spawner.
Mm-hmm.
And Vincent is not in a great spot when it comes to beating that. Also, I think Zhao did drew another Displacer, which is really good. This will be an attack for 3. Vincent happy to take that. Does put him into Death Shadow as a 2-power creature area, and another Sky Spawner going to come down.
Okay, so Vincent presumably just
Kolaghan's Command going to shock one of these.
Yeah, I just can kill one, make
shock
a discard.
One, make you discard. Yeah. And Zhao says, fine, I'll discard this land. I didn't need it anyways. Get this off. Vincent will draw. Finds a TBR. Okay, so now this sort of changes the game, right? Because now you're sort of on the combo plan, where you just like want to hopefully just end them with the what is that? Oh, is the last card a Traverse? Oh yeah, that Traverse is not good right now. There's only 3 card types.
Right, and if this Death Shadow gets Path,
you
still have 3 card types.
Right, and I don't know if I'll draw other. I mean, if there's Engineered Explosives Traverse like turns on for you. One of the things though is that like every time Zhao attacks Vincent, he risks making the Death Shadow big enough that like the TBR play can kill it, could kill him. Even if you block, right. So like Vince right now needs a 9-powered. Or sorry, Zhao's gonna take 1, so he still needs a 9-powered Death Shadow, but this means that like a single Scion back as a blocker won't do it. And this is the thing, right? With this against this deck, you can't kill it most of the way. You have to finish them.
Yes.
Finish him, like sort of like that.
Well, there's even an argument for like not chipping in damage and just like here I'm gonna hit you
right.
for 20.
Yeah, you need to make a board big enough to alpha past the Death Shadow and just not care. Right. I agree. Yeah, as a 2/2, I'm not afraid of it. As a 12/12, I'm quite afraid of it. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, we've got access to 6 mana here.
It's quite a lot of mana. If he has CWA Smith, I believe there is an Elspeth in the deck. That is just that's a thing that they do sometimes. Vincent going to go to 9 here, so the chip, Zhao's still happy to chip. Another 3 mana, and now the 3rd Sky Spawner hits the table. Wow, pretty good. Death Shadow a 4/4. Yeah. And there is I believe there is an Elspeth in the Bant Eldrazi deck. Just like it's a big sideboard card of theirs. Minus kills Goyfs and Death Shadow.
Yeah, it's usually because the Eldrazi deck does hit a lot of their land drops. It's just kind of like this is our late game.
If you have a bunch of Scions, you just like hope you have double white somewhere, and then just like woo, make a thing. Yeah. Looks like we're gonna sack a Scion and get the Displacer on the board. Now Vincent really has to answer this.
Yeah. So now Vincent has his window is
closing.
Yeah.
As his window is closing, shout out to Roy Schwan for the follow. Thanks for.
So this is lethal on board.
Against Vincent?
Yes.
Yes. So if he fetch shocks, he still does not have the TBR kill. He did draw fetch, but I don't think it's gonna matter. Yeah. So, but like. So if he fetch shocks, he goes down to 6, right? Death Shadow's a 7/7 swing. So he just it's not good enough.
I think you have to make the attack here with Death Shadow. Right. Just force some blocks. Shadow can also like alternatively not even block.
Yeah, if Vincent only has 1 card left, or Vincent has 2 cards though. So like if Zhao is like, oh, if it's a Street Wraith, am I dead sort of situation.
Right.
Because each 2 life. A Street Wraith represents like 4 damage, right. Which is a lot.
Yeah, so Vincent fetch shocking here, falls to 6, so this is currently a 7/7. So now, by getting the Overgrown Tomb, he's now representing, TBR Bolt.
The deck doesn't play Bolt anyways.
It could,
but it doesn't. Like they all play Tarfire. So I think you just go for the swing, right? I think you just jam the swing and hope that the blocks go badly.
Yeah, because if you don't, you're just dead on board. Like,
but if Zhao says just no blocks, take it. He's gonna
block with a Scion.
I mean, yeah, Vince can. The problem is he doesn't have Delirium on. He's missing a card type, and so then he's just dead. So like this, he can TBR here, but it doesn't do anything. So I think this game is also over.
Right. Get that TBR for value.
Yeah. Also, we keep saying TBR, but Teamer Battle Rage is actually the card. We'll pull it up on the right here. This was very popular back like in the old Death Shadow deck that played like Git Probes too.
Yeah.
Just like cool, take 13, you go to 4.
Kind of saw a lot of standard play.
Yeah, pretty good in the Atarka Red deck. Great with Become Immense in the Death Shadow deck back when it again played Get Taxing Probe. Draw here from Zhao. And turn it sideways. Vincent's like, yep, that's going to do it. Zhao Tian getting it over Vincent Adinolfi. 2 games to none, Bant Eldrazi versus Death Shadow Jund. Game would have been very different if the Traverse had been online. Not having a Street Wraith, not having Mishra's Bauble not having a Tar Fire, I think, really sort of end up costing Vince in the end because he wasn't able to traverse for any sort of value. So Dan has left the booth in order to see if we can get another match. If not, we are going to look at the Modern State Championship decks from TCG Players States Championship Series that were recently held. A lot of good stuff in there. These tournaments aren't necessarily big, but that sort of lets some of the crazier decks shine through. For example, I am currently looking at the title of a list called Seismic Swans that won Estates. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. Definitely going to take a look at that. But hopefully, Dan will be able to get us another match. In which case, we will jam. Yeah, looking at this, what is in this deck? This deck is insane. Oh my god. Woo! It's good. Oh wow, okay, so I think I thought I was reading the deck list wrong, but then I wasn't reading the deck list wrong. There are 42 lands in the Seismic Swans deck. Yes or no?
What?
You got a match?
Oh, we do have a match.
Oh yeah. Who are we watching?
We are watching Ken Ropiak play against Greg Pino.
All right, that is good times.
I heard the words mono green Belcher.
You know what?
Being said.
I am excited about the words mono green Belcher, and I assume Pino's playing mono green Belcher because no one else would do that.
I think that seems like a fairly accurate assessment.
Okay. And Ken is almost certainly playing. What do you call it? Ken is playing Amulet, the new Amulet Titan.
Yeah.
And is this game 3?
This is game 3.
All right, let's go. So yeah, we'll put 20 on the board for each. We'll put mono green Belcher on the right, played by Greg Pino, and we'll put so mono green Belcher on the right and Amulet Titan on the left, and we are underway here. Third game in the second round here at Wednesday Night Modern at MTGCardMarket. Looking at Ken's hand, we have an Amulet, we have some Serum Visions, we have a Pact of Negation, I believe in an Ancient Stirrings. Looking at Greg's hand, I don't know what's going on over there, Dan. Chancellor of the Tangle. It's on.
I don't know what that is.
Well, you...
Oh, I guess it's one of the Chancellors. I know what Chancellor.
You will learn. He has 2 mana in his mana pool to start the game. Dude, this is how you do it.
Is that good? I guess.
What
that's
is
good.
that card?
Sweet Jesus! I
don't know what's going on. Oh no! What is the card that he just played? It's like he got a Wastes with it, which I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we also have 2
Ancient Stirrings. All right, I dig it.
Okay. 2,
3, 4.
It's a Belcher.
Belcher. Let's go.
Okay.
Lay of the Land, chat says. Chat is right.
Oh, okay.
Good job, chat. Shout out to Dixon Crow for that. My goodness. Ken is like, what's happening in this degenerate nonsense? He'll do an Ancient Stirrings off a Gemstone Mine. So, for those of you not familiar with the card Goblin Charbelcher, Dan, you own Belcher and have played it at some point in your life. How does this card work?
You play Belcher, you activate Belcher, and typically you just win the game on the spot.
This isn't a tune with Aether. Let's go.
Right. So this is a little bit different from like the Legacy version, because you actually play lands in this.
Legacy only playing the one Taiga, yes.
Yes, sometimes.
Ken gonna play an Amulet, Gemstone Mine, Simic Growth Chamber. Okay, so Ken is like low-key going off. I mean, not going off, but like sort of going off. Gonna bounce the Growth Chamber back to his hand. The next time he plays it, he gets to reset the Gemstone Mine, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
But it's actually kind of interesting that he chose to not return the Gemstone.
Sure. But no, he gets to play the Tribe Scout.
Because he has a Tribe Scout in hand. Yeah, the line doesn't make much sense without the Tribe Scout.
Play a Wastes for Pino, pass it back. So Pino 2 turns away.
Draws on that Zusa. Oh.
I don't know if he has payoff, though. He needs to hit up Primetime.
Well, the Zusa allows him to...
sack the mine. 1 mana.
Pick it up, play a Zusa. Yeah. So we can make a 4 mana this...
We're being asked to pull the different Belcher art. Too bad. Nah, it's fine. We'll click on the Mirrodin one.
Okay,
Yeah, this is definitely the better art. I agree.
So Ken loses his Gemstone Mine, plays the Simic Growth Chamber, bounces it, plays the Zusa, has 2 land drops, plays a Simic again for 2 floating mana, and now it's gonna probably play something else. We can get more mana if we play a Simic again. We also have the
Teleria West.
We have the Tribe Scout if we want like 6 mana this turn.
I think he's gonna play the Teleria West. Then, and Serum Visions again. Has he played like 4 Serum Visions this game?
There's at least 3.
Yeah. So you know what he's gonna do? I think he'll go play the Growth Chamber, bounce the Teleria West. He still has a green floating. Oh, so this is a Colony Garden?
Yeah. Colony Heart. It comes with a plant.
Yes. Tap it. Ancient Stirrings. Wow. So Ken is really just like churning through his deck here.
Right. So he's got a Primeval Titan in hand as well. Oh, and a second Amulet. So this is going to be
pretty crazy once it happens.
This is going to be pretty crazy, yeah.
But I think he just has to say go to Pino. Pino's going to go like, woo, do some... do land.
He can play a Belcher, but
play the Belcher. Yes.
But this is going to be a nutty turn
for Ken.
For Ken, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of insane.
Because don't forget, he has.
Oh my God! He ripped a Primeval Titan.
Oh no, he had 1 in hand.
No. He just drew the Titan.
Oh, the second one.
There already was 1.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So the thing is, Ken has 4 land drops. With 2 amulets, so each Simic makes 4 mana.
My God!
So that's 16 mana that he has access to this turn.
We are gonna watch Greg Pino die in a sad and miserable. Oh wait, no, yeah, Pino's tapped out. He's super dead. Is he super? Yeah, no, he has to be super dead, right? Like, no doubt in my mind. Ooh, right, hard life.
Because we can give the Primeval Titan +4/+0 and double strike.
Yeah, that's fair.
So long as Ken gets the correct lands.
Ken knows what he's doing.
Ken knows what he's doing as well.
So much mana. So much double strike. Look out below. Oh my God. Man, I really wanted to see a Belcher activation. I haven't been around enough Legacy to ever see Belcher get activated before. And this was going to be, pretty great. But instead, Ken is going to get Vesuva, Slayer's Stronghold, do all the stuff, give his guy double strike. Pino's like, whoa, what's going on here? Okay. But Ken is going to show him, and we can also explain this. So basically, Primeval Titan enters the battlefield. You get, it's Esapush because Wizards actually knows how to do grammar. Slayer Stronghold. There's more than 1 Slayer, and they all live here. So
crucially, if you have only 1 amulet, you can only give. You usually make your Primeval Titan 8/0.
Yeah, 8/6.
8/6, excuse me. But since you have 2 untapped triggers of it, you can do it twice.
Right.
Which means that your Primeval Titan is now a 10/6.
Yes.
And because you have 2 untapped triggers, with the Boros Garrison, once you attack with the Primeval Titan, you can get a Vesuva.
Sunhome, Fortress of the Legion.
Yeah, you get a Vesuva and a Sunhome, and then, hey, this is now a 10/6 double strike.
And you're dead.
You're dead.
Yeah, so basically just like the old Amulet deck, except without the brokenness that was Summer Bloom. That's going to do it for that match. Amulet Titan just popping off on Mono Green Belcher.
And as Ken corrected me last time, because I had an inability to do math last time we saw this on camera.
Yeah.
It is not infinite if you have 2 amulets. It's infinite once you have 3.
Oh, right.
Because the third one makes 9 mana now. And 9 mana is Teleria West plus cast Primeval Titan.
Right, yeah, you do need the 3rd amulet, though. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. So, yeah, wow. Unfortunate for Greg. He's just a man trying to activate Goblin Charbelcher. Whereas Ken is over here. Amulet Titan is on, I would say, the ever since people sort of figured out that it wasn't completely dead and that Sakura Tribe Scout and Azusa were fine, deck has been, sort of low-key making a name for itself.
Well, the problem now is, like, before, like, the combo was just... It was so difficult to interact with it. Like, you needed Ancient Grudge and, like, Cryptic commands.
You needed to Spell Snare their Summer Bloom. Oh, my God.
Right. But now, it's like, you can kill the Tribe Scout. Mm-hmm. You can kill Azusa. Like, that was part of the problem.
Right. Well, and that's, I think that's healthier, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's absolutely.
Just like you have permanents that you can interact with. You can still counter those things. But now you can remove them. Whereas like before it was like I need to Abrupt Decay your Amulet, and hopefully I'm on the play because you can kill me turn 2.
Right.
Other way.
Summer Blue made it very explosive.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. Like this is one of 2 decks in Modern that's sort of utilizing the sort of insanity that is Primeval Titan, the card. Uh-huh. The other one being red-green Titan Shift.
Or, any number of Scapeshift variants.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 big categories are Amulet Titan and, like, Scapeshift with Prime Times. Yeah. Typically the red-green decks.
Yeah, but I seen people play, like, the Brink to Light version. And, some still play the blue. The tried and true.
Tried and true. Cast Cryptic Command on turn 3 because you suspended a search on turn 1. Flooded Grove. Woo, yeah. That's the
all
card.
I'm saying is Scapeshift is a lot better when you have Cryptic Command to back it up.
Yeah, but you're also super hella dead by then, so you're a rug deck, dude. You literally don't kill permanents with toughness. You don't kill creatures with toughness greater than 3.
Yeah, you tap it down with Cryptic Command and Snapcasters.
Seems bad. Or it seemed great back when there was a blue deck that was 15% in the meta and you were expecting to face a lot, but we won't go there. Incidentally, there is a ban unban in like a week, right?
It's true. There's a lot of...
we'll kick it back up to the booth for this conversation.
There's a lot of mindless speculation, both in Modern and Standard. I think Modern change is more likely than Standard.
I think so as well. Also, I assume there's no other matches.
No, because with the 8 minutes left, I think we're pretty close to time here.
Okay. So, so we can talk about the ban list, upcoming a little bit. So my thought is this, is that if Wizards makes a change in their first, because they just created this new banning period, right? Mm-hmm. Like 5 weeks after the Pro Tour, they're like, if things are bad, we can, like, fix it. I don't know, if they can fix it, but also... I don't think that you can reasonably ban a Standard card in the inaugural first ban period and not just crash confidence, right?
It's just a bad precedence.
Standard bannings are bad enough, right? Like, Emrakul, Reflector Mage, Smuggler, Scopter. I'm not going to disagree that I think those were good ideas. I also don't really play that much Standard, but whatever. That's fine. But I think that the biggest thing is, like, it affects people's, like, just, like, how they think about Standard. If Standard becomes a bad bet, or like something that you can't even keep you're gonna get a deck, like if they ban like Winding Constrictor tomorrow, like I cannot see that happening in a world where Wizards is run by reasonable human beings.
Right. I mean my greatest concern is that it would it would do a number on the confidence people have in the format. Yeah. But I mean, there are targets that could be banned. The cards that people talking about, Felidar Guardian.
I think
that's a prime target.
So because Standard, like things are in Standard for like what 2 years now?
Yes.
2 years. Okay. I think that I will make a prediction now that Felidar Guardian will be banned before the end of its Standard life cycle.
Absolutely.
I do not think it will be banned to like Monday.
Sure. And the argument for that is. You run into the issue of like you're forcing power creep to happen. Otherwise, why won't you just play 4 colors Saheeli and Amonkhet? And from a Wizards perspective, that's like it's terrible when you release a new Standard set and the format is exactly the same.
Right. I think that because vehicles, like Heart of Kirin and that like sort of shell is like pretty obviously pushed a little bit.
Right. All the cards are still there and will be for some time.
Gideon doesn't leave Standard for like
until the end of the year.
Yeah, okay, so until like the end of this year.
Yeah.
Like we could be in for a long summer.
Right. So the problem is that like if you leave it as is, either you make the next set, somehow hose this the current standard. You know, in
honestly,
some
just
mechanics.
literally please print Pithing Needle card.
Yeah, I mean, Pithing Needle would be good. I don't know if it would answer a lot of the problems, right? Pithing Needle is always extremely clunky.
Pithing Needle would probably be a 4 of in most main decks, I'll be honest. Right?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
It would, okay, sorry, maybe 4 of in sideboards, right? It stops the Healy. You can play it on Gideon, you can play it on Heart of Kirin. I think what Pithing Needle might do, actually, that I said it might be a mainboard thing, is I think it might enable the somewhat more synergy-based decks to try to go toe-to-toe with the combo in a way that, because there are decks out there, they're not necessarily good, but they're sort of more synergy-based stuff floating around. Okay, Metalwork Colossus is the one that springs immediately to mind. That just fold to the combo.
Sure,
and maybe if they had an easier time dealing with the combo, could fight against the other Mardu Green Black a little bit better.
Well, if you look at the lists that are popular now, the Saheeli deck that's doing the best are the 4-color Saheeli decks, right?
Just the value mid-range.
The value mid-range, and the reason that it's doing well is because you can answer the board. You can play Rogue Refiner. No, it's not Rogue Refiner. The 3/2 Game 2 energy draw card.
That's Rogue Refiner.
Oh, it is Rogue Refiner. Yes. You can play cards like that, and then you play Felidar Guardian. You're not blinking Saheeli. You're here, blink Oath of Chandra, blink Oath of Nissa.
Right.
It's just a lot of value.
Yeah.
And that's a very inherently powerful mechanic. That it's if you don't change something in that, what are you printing an ammo kit to either answer this and not just answer it, but it has to crush it, else this is still very playable.
Right.
And if that's not the case, then this is going to push out a lot of new deck design. So I could very well see a cat ban here.
Sure. We are, however, a Modern stream, so maybe we should talk about Modern a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
The two biggest cards that people I see just talking with people here, talking reading stuff online. Everyone wants to ban Simian Spirit Guide and Mox Opal.
Yep.
More
so the first one than the second.
I would be very sad if they banned Spirit Guide, because I really like Ad Naus as a deck. Just that is cool. It is a pile of jank that then, just flips the whole deck over and kills you. But I just don't know what deck Spirit Guide is enabling in such a way that it's destroying the format at large.
Well, Spirit Guide fits into one of those categories of cards that adds degeneracy to the format, right? Spirit Guide enables turn 2 Blood Moon, where a lot of times hey, we're no longer playing Magic because I was on a play. Here's turn 2, you have a land. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Your land taps for red.
Right. So it enables fast things like that. It falls in the category of when people are main decking chalices, all of a sudden something has gone kind of wonky in the format, where if you main deck a chalice, it's good.
So the thing is I think that this the sort of stompy decks that we're talking about, I think there's specifically one that I'm thinking of, which is the red white Nahiri build, and it's it's trying to do the same sort of thing that the mono red stompy decks do in Legacy. It's just play sort of a lock piece on turn 1 2. I just the problem is that I don't think that Chalice on 1 is as backbreaking in Modern as it is in Legacy.
No, but I think Chalice Blood Moon on 2 is just as backbreaking. And not to even mention this gives you the explosiveness and adds a lot of consistency to decks like Ad Nauseam, right? Because Ad Nauseam still can exist without Simian Spirit Guides. You just need 3 more mana.
That's so
which
much,
which is asking a lot.
That's infinity more.
You're not wrong.
I guess okay. So if they think Spirit Guide is that bad, they're gonna have to have some compelling reasons to ban it. Because Ad Naus alone is not.
It's not Ad Naus alone though. It enables a lot of other things, right? This is now here's a turn 3 through the breach. On top. Okay. Just the extra turn. It significantly alters the format.
Yeah. I guess the thing is that the decks that are playing Spirit Guide are either not consistent enough or are just in the larger meta are not good enough, I think, to warrant its banning now. And I think that every single person who calls for a banning, put a pin in Spirit Guide for a second, because I think we're sort of at a loggerheads here. But I think that calling for a ban on Mox Opal is ridiculous in my mind. I don't think that card is in any way in a bannable state right now. I get it. People are afraid of Cheerios. How many events has Cheerios top 8'd since like it started getting popular?
But I mean, so here's my argument for banning, right? It's not an issue of like how good is it, like in a vacuum. How good is it? It's more of a broader statement. It's like, what do we want the format to look like?
Sure.
And having fast mana like that, you know, Wizards could very well say is like, this is not something that we want a part of the format.
Okay, but
I think that's a defensible position where we don't want, you know, the even if you're not terribly consistent, we don't want the potential for like the turn 1, turn 2 combo draws that like these cards enable.
Yes.
And Simian Spirit Guide is very much you know, guilty of that. Mox Opal to a lesser extent.
Okay. I think,
but certainly
that, like,
Spirit Guide.
Sure. I think that sort of would represent a fundamental shift in the way Wizards treats Modern, if that makes sense. Like, they have banned combo enablers in the past, like Seething Song, Rite of Flame, that sort of thing. But I don't think that the combo decks that exist now on the back of these cards are consistent enough that they're not the tiers you're not seeing like 5 Griselbrand, Adnaz, Cheerios in top 8s, right? Like, this isn't a...
But it has a more profound effect than just that, right?
Sure.
More than just like how well is this deck performing, it alters what the meta looks like. Right. Because like if this is playable, if these decks are playable, if these decks are good, in order to like be on that same level, you know, the more fair decks are much less likely to see play. You know, like in order to combat, you know, turn 2, turn 3 decks. Now all of a sudden I want to play a deck that's equally as uninteractive. So that's why you see the rise of a lot of like decks like Death Shadow, where it's like I want to do something incredibly powerful because my opponents are very likely to do, you know, powerful uninteractable things. And so you know, that's the effect of cards like of decks like, you know, Tron. That's the effect of decks like Scapeshift. It's not that like those are like busted in themselves; they're very powerful, but it forces the meta to adjust to it, and that could be something that, you know, Wizards doesn't want.
Yeah, I mean, I would personally be surprised to see a ban now of either Guide or Opal. I think that in the past, like the sort of the major bannings in Modern, like, okay, so they rebanned Golgari Grave Troll because that was like, what the hell were you thinking? I guess like you print 3 enablers in a row and anything becomes broken.
Again, Golgari Grave Troll, totally fine until they printed Prized Amalgam.
Prized Amalgam Neonate Cathartic, like,
really just Prized Amalgam, right? Cathartic's obviously a great enabler. Neonate's like a fine enabler, but like there was no good payoff. Like getting back like Infinite Blood Gas was just not exciting.
Yeah.
But once all of a sudden like here's the 3/3 and there's multiples of them. Now we're talking.
Yeah. This is actually a good question in the chat from Unmovable. Is, you know, how fair is too fair before we just play Standard? And so sort of accepting like the last 4 words, like how fair is too fair, I think is like a legitimate question you can ask about Modern. You know, because it is a format that has, you know, that allows you to play cards from like sets before Wizards sort of got some of their new design philosophies through their heads. Because it is a format that lets you, you know, play like real like deterministic basically combo decks. Like if you really still want to play Storm, like go for it, that sort of thing. Like, is it reasonable to have a little bit of, you know, unfair like Lotus Petal-esque effect with like Simian Spirit Guide and whatnot, as a way to make sure that like combo decks still exist, even though they are like a very small part of the metagame. Like the problem is that like there's all these decks that are like, you know, heralded as non-interactive, and you know they're too fast to combo, or like they play lock pieces too quickly. But those decks take massive consistency hits, and that's one of the things that like I think like just in my mind you cannot use those decks to justify banning Simian Spirit Guide, because they're not like they're so inconsistent that, you know, they have difficulty doing it like every turn 2 or turn 3, and then when they don't, it's just embarrassing.
Sure, but you know, it's actually a very good. It's a very good question, because they don't want to turn modern into standard, right? And I think the current standard format, and perhaps the last couple of standard formats, like what we've seen them try to do is like, oh, spells got worse, creatures got better. We want like we want like onboard combat determining a lot of this, and we see some of the side effects of that. Like we had an era where it was just like mono mid range decks, and people didn't like that. And then to answer that, like, hey, maybe we keep printing things on the board that are more and more powerful, and that's how we end up with like cards like Gideon.
Right.
That's how we end up with Emrakul. Like we just progressively got more powerful in that regard. So we don't want like modern to just solely look like that.
Sure. Yeah.
But at the same time, like if it becomes warped too much, it no longer is fun. Right, and it looks like we can continue this discussion.
Woo, pairings.
Yes, after pairings.
This one?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
All right. So Dan is going to hop out of the booth, get us some pairings in the third round. I'm going to throw it down to the play overlay so that I can do some resetting of this bad boy. Thanks, everyone, for sticking with us tonight. We've been over 100 viewers for a long while now, and we really appreciate you following the Modern stream. Dan and I definitely are very grateful that we're able to come out and do this every week, and we really enjoy casting it for you guys. So yeah, as I do some quick resets here, we're going to get the two players tonight who are currently 2-0, or two players tonight who are currently 2-0. I'm not sure which side and whatnot they will be on, but they both have 6 match points. Yeah. So let's see. All right. Yeah. And so in the chat here we have a discussion of what should we print things? Should we unban things? I do not think unbanning Mental Misstep is the way forward in this format, folks. If you unban Mental Misstep, I will be a sad person who no longer plays Modern. That's just disgusting. All right, we are gonna get 50 minutes on the clock. Dan, who are we watching?
We're watching Andy on Affinity.
Okay.
And Eric, who is on Pox.
Pox.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And do we know who is who?
Andy is on the right.
Okay. So on the right here, we're gonna have Andy Bayer, and on the left, we're gonna have Eric Kelton.
Yeah. Who also requested that I mentioned that it is his first time playing Affinity.
Okay. So this is Andy Bayer's first time on Affinity, folks. So chat, you're gonna have to be. And I know now I'm futile request for Twitch chat to be nice, but be nice to Andy because he, we should not be flaming people because they haven't Pox, because they don't know Affinity. Because how are you going to learn Affinity if you don't just jam Affinity?
Right. I mean, and there are so many topics that you can flame people about, right?
Yeah, this is true.
Their preference of like Popeyes to KFC. These are just there's some fundamentally poor life choices that people make in that regard.
Where are you in the Popeyes KFC war, Dan?
I don't understand that Popeyes hype. I don't get it. It's overpriced. It's not good. And for some reason, every Popeyes is manned by like 15 people, but service is always slow.
You have like more opinions about Popeyes than like most Magic cards. You should just be a chicken commentator, man.
Look, if that was a thing.
Yeah. All right. So we'll pull up Smallpox here because I'm assuming that's a thing that Eric's deck does.
So
Andy's hand does not look like a Keeperoni.
Well, it has, a Darksteel Citadel
and no other lands
and
in
6
double
uncastable cards.
Yeah, and double Galv Blast. Do you know if I assume Eric is actually playing Smallpox in his deck, right?
Yes.
Do you know if he's like mono black or is just like Pox?
He had I saw 2 cards in his deck.
Okay.
And they were Swamp and Smallpox.
Yeah, buddy. Woohoo! I'm ready for some grindy magic. Also, Smallpox is a pretty cool card.
Yeah.
This hand seems land heavy. It seems quite land heavy, but I think he's going to keep in Scry. Oh, he has a Master of Ethereum and stuff? That's fine. He's got like 3 lands and 3 spells. But one of them is a Springleaf Drum, so it's not really a spell.
Right, but I mean, we've got
He'll top the Scry too.
Turn 2 Ravager, turn 3 Master.
It's fine.
Yeah.
And pass. Eric will take a draw. Looks like a swamp to me. Yeah, also, it's the winner of KFC Popeyes is absolutely Herald's. Inquisition of Kozilek, though, gonna hit the table.
I mean, yeah, Herald's is obviously up there. I mean, it's debatable, like, which one's better. But I think, like, all rational human beings can agree that Church's Chicken is by far the least.
Wow, dude, Rodalek, your chicken choice is getting flamed.
This is not even close.
All right, so we're going to have a taking of the Arcbound Ravager by this Inquisition.
Yeah.
Signal Pest the draw.
Signal Pest, a reasonable draw. Obviously, Andy's hand got significantly worse in the face of the Inquisition.
Losing your Ravager, not good times.
Yeah, but, like...
I think you just run the Pest out, right? Yep. Ding. Yeah. Cool.
And,
I think that's all you can do.
Did he play the Blinkmoth this turn or last turn?
Yeah, no, he played it this turn. We're only on turn 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so next turn he'll have the Master, assuming there's not, like...
Had he swapped the sequence, he could get in for 1 damage, but,
Oh, well. No, he just drew the Signal Pest. What?
This is Smallpox.
Oh, that is Smallpox. Okay, well, we are going to have some symmetric effects going on here.
Right. So Eric can choose to animate the Blinkmoth.
Yeah, and Andy can animate the Blinkmoth here, but...
but then he loses both lands, which is not ideal.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're both going to lose 1 life, but here we go. We are grinding. Mm-hmm. Is he really going to pitch the Master? This seems suspect to me, but I guess he's never going to play it. So.
Yeah, I think...
He's going to have 2 manas? No, he's not going to have any... No, he's going to be on 1 mana source. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually... It's interesting, right? Because Andy, right now, he's going to have uncastable Master.
Yeah, he's going to get rid of that.
And also... Like, we're so far away from casting the Master, right?
Right, absolutely.
And also, it's like, it's almost certainly going to die to something.
20-turn Blinkmoth. Go. Wait, no, so Mountain, play the Scourge.
Yeah.
Scourge, animate Blinkmoth.
Right. Getting 1 damage.
Vault Scourge, take 2, go to 17. And tap this, animate this, hit you for 1.
Yep, that's all we can do.
Already super duper hellbent for Andy here, so...
Yeah, I mean, let's keep in mind that...
Eric, I believe, is playing... I saw copies of the Rack in his hand, so
yeah.
I assume that's how he kills his opponents.
Sure. Volt Scourge, does a little bit of work on, like, swinging the balance, but...
Oh, yeah, you're right. He's going to go up to... Oh, wait, he didn't hit for lifelink that turn. Okay, so the Rack is in play. We'll pull it up on the right here.
Mm-hmm.
The Rack. No, that's not what I wanted. The Rack. Okay, so this is the bad art, but this is what it does. So Andy, this turn will take 3.
Mm-hmm. Just on a 6-turn clock here.
Yeah. He does have the Vault Scourge to mitigate a little bit, but I think the problem is, like, now there's also a Mutavault in play, so...
Yeah.
Grindy. So 2 mana, this has to be pretty good if he's going to take a turn off the Blinkmoth.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, Ravager's pretty good.
Attack you for 1. Eric is like, sure.
Yeah, now one thing to be careful about is we can't get too greedy with this Ravager just because,
right.
Eric's deck is almost certainly chock full of removal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It also, gets the bump of having Fatal Push now over cards like Disfigure.
Yeah. Yeah, this does appear to be Pox/8 Rack. Maybe 8 Pox, and there's only 4 of those cards, though. So, pass the turn back after playing a 3rd land. Gonna drop down to 12 here for Andy. So the thing with the Ravager is, like, you really do want to sort of try to load up the Scourge a little bit, because you definitely want you want the life gain, because you're dying pretty fast.
So the problem is,
just 8 Rack, okay.
If you sack the Ravager, he becomes incredibly vulnerable to just any removal.
Right.
In addition to Liliana.
Yeah. So here's an attack. This is for 3. Eric thinking about it.
So one thing that this does here is Andy no longer has activation mana for this Ink Moth. For the Blink Moth,
okay, so he's going to play a Victim of Night. Pull that card up on the right here for you guys.
So this is pretty much a 2-mana destroy a creature.
Well,
against Affinity.
It misses some... against Affinity, yes. Yeah. It misses some things, but not a lot of things. I think this card is immensely flavorful, and I love it.
Yeah.
Going to put the counter on the Scourge.
The key card that it misses, Mutavault.
Yes.
Because...
Ooh, and then Dismember. Go to 13 to do it, but your clock is much faster.
Yeah.
And goodbye. And then take 1, go to 12. So they're tied on life, but it looks like 8-Rack is, is pretty far ahead on board. Ooh, Ink Moth the draw? Okay. So 5-turn clock from Ink Moth. Or no, it's not. It's still a... The problem is that I think you're just like super duper dead.
Yeah, currently you can't race.
The race is not
on. Right, and I don't, because in order for the rack to be turned off, you have to have 3 cards.
Right. That seems incredibly unlikely.
That's a big ask.
Yeah. I mean, it does decrease damage a little bit every time you have a card in your hand, but I think that, barring like something really, really good, you're going to want to play to the board.
It's really hard to keep cards in hand when like the 8-Rack deck is full of, things like Raven's Crime.
Wrench Mind.
Right. You really have to have cards like, Electrolyze or Sphinx's Rev to actually go up in cards.
Yeah.
And, clearly this is not going to happen.
2 mana. I think he's trying to do some math. This is just a tough spot, right? Like, he mulliganed, he ran out of cards pretty fast. Ooh.
Okay, the plating... Yeah, I think that's absolutely the correct choice. Because the plating now gets some interesting draws to, potentially be lethal. But, Andy's
How are you lethal right now?
Oh, right now you are not even close to lethal.
Right. The problem is that he's on a 2-turn clock. He's going to take 5.
Right. Exactly.
And so, you animate Ink Moth, you equip plating, you attack for 3/4 infect, and that's just not fast enough.
Right.
So he'll go to 5 here off that Mutavault plus the rack. Draw, I believe, was an Etch Champion. I think you keep that in hand. Oh, it's an Ornithopter. Okay, so this powers up your plating a little bit.
This powers up your plating. It also gives you a blocker.
I like the... So here's what I like. I like Ink Moth plating on it. But don't do... Blink Moth needs to animate it. No, if you're going to block with the Ornithopter, though, you're right. No, so we need to block with the Ornithopter, I think.
Yeah.
So we're going to put the plate... You're going to animate this. Ooh, I'm not sure I like this one. I think you're just dead now.
Yeah, this puts you dead on board. This gets you an extra damage because of the Blink Moth can power it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And also chat saying they think they're low. He was lower than 5, he might have been at 2 there. So...
Yeah. Okay. In any case,
it is possible we missed a rack trigger. So that's gonna do it. Game 1. A-Rack performing admirably.
Yeah, and it just on a bit of a slow draw.
Yeah. If that's a go wide with 2 Ornithopters and an Overseer and a Mox Opal or something.
All of a sudden, the Smallpox is embarrassing, right?
Right. Absolutely.
But no, it's it was a mull to 6. I think it was the 6 you had to keep. After the Inquisition, your hand's kind of mediocre, and then the Smallpox just kind of cleans it up.
Yeah, so that'll do it for Game 1. We'll see what happens Game 2. I don't, I'm not really 100% sure what I sideboard with the Eric. I guess although people in chat seem to know what's going on. So do you take your Wrench Mines out? I feel like you take your Wrench Mines out in this matchup.
Yeah.
Those just don't become good, right?
Yeah. You only have 1 mind.
Yeah, Wrench Mine, but. If you discard an artifact, it's only 1 card, so...
Yeah, that's 2 mana to, discard a card of your choice. Not great.
Right. Yeah. Interestingly, this is a matchup where... I did a little bit of reading about it, where apparently against most decks, not all decks, but most decks, you are on the draw as 8-Rack. Even if you lose Game 1, you choose to be on the draw. And that's because you deny them the extra card.
Sure. Also, it makes the Smallpox a little bit better.
This is true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's an interesting deck for me in Modern because I don't know of a single other deck that wants that life. like, it's modern, right? You know, everyone's like, "Rog, this is the fast format, and I die on turn 3.5 on average."
Right. And as for cards to board out, it's actually kind of interesting. Ed Champion, you know, it's protection for all the removal, but like.
I mean, if you get smallpox, though, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, there's just so many edict effects that I'm not really thrilled about it.
Mm-hmm.
The Gal Blast, you know, there's an argument for boarding them out, but they do also give you closing speed.
True.
Gearport Aether Grid's also good if the 8-rack deck has, you know, ensnaring bridges.
Yeah, that's fair. You can always, if you get up to enough mana, you can always instant speed equip an Ornithopter.
Right. I get. As far as ensnaring bridge goes, like Affinity is like one of
surprisingly
one of the best decks against it because you have Signal Pest as well.
Yeah, Signal Pest, Ornithopter, the ability to instant speed, put 10 power on a creature. Seems right. I love Affinity. It just feels like a good, I don't know. I think that the deck is like good at policing nonsense, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you get to tell people like, if you don't want to interact, like I can just cranial plating you out of the game.
Right.
And,
well,
that leaves a fond place in my heart for that.
Affinity is one of like the stalwarts of like the turn 4 format, right? Where
Affinity is very rarely killing you faster than that.
Yeah.
I feel like there might be a turn 2 with the right draw. Like if you have like a plating onto an ink. No, it's actually that seems impossible.
I don't think there's a turn 2 possible.
I mean, there's definitely a turn 3 though.
Oh yeah, turn 3 is definitely possible.
I still think that I don't think you're attacking for 20 damage. I think you have to do 10 infect on turn 3. But I think that is actually doable in this deck. But it involves like Mox Opal and I think more than one Mox Opal maybe. Yeah, I'm trying to think about the hand, but it's not a useful exercise. Okay, so we're gonna shuffle up here, go to game 2, see if 8-rack. I mean, that was pretty comprehensively dominating. So we'll see if it's as lopsided again.
Yeah, and he just didn't really have any decisions.
Yeah, he's just like, play cards,
and like, your cards just line up really well against this.
All right, those are 3 good cards to start with. You just need some lands. Oh yeah, oh baby. All right, we are in business.
Yeah, this looks good. This looks very good.
So now here's a real question: do you brave the elements and?
No, you play Darksteel.
You play Darksteel first.
Okay.
But then you can't hold up Spell Pierce, dog. Come on now. I guess next turn.
How are you holding up Spell Pierce?
That's fair. Wait, I mean, do you go Glimmer? I guess you don't go. You just go Darksteel.
Darksteel Vault Scourge, yeah.
Okay. That's
not
fair.
close. Not close.
That's fair. Yeah, I guess also like I have had people like have like kill their. I had a guy at a GP go Glimmer Void Memnite pass, and then I killed his Memnite with a lightning bolt. He sacked his Glimmer Void, and then next turn like he drew his card, put it into his hand. From the other side of his hand plays a Blink Moth, and I was like, excuse me, like. What's going on? We missed this just a couple minutes ago, but thank you to Hell's Cream 31 and MEOT4 for the follows. We appreciate you guys following the stream, and our viewer numbers have been pretty great tonight, and we're really happy with the fact that y'all are tuning in to watch some modern Batlin. So, Vault Scourge off the Darksteel turn 1. No terrible matte lines of play Glimmer Void. But we'll see what Eric's got here. He's got a Swamp, and he's like, oh, dude, get my hand ready to get Inquisition. But no turn 1 play from there. Yeah, so now draw. So now you just like play this.
So this is excellent. So
you play Scourge, Memnite, hold up Pierce?
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like that's really good, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, attack you for 1. We'll both be at 19. Unless you want to get like real aggressive with the plating, I don't think you want to do that. Yeah, just play the Scourge, dude. It's fine.
Yeah. So there's an argument for.
I like if he doesn't have a turn 1 play, he's got to have a turn 2 play, right?
Yeah. I think I much prefer the Vault Scourge.
I do too. But here's gonna be a plating.
Yeah.
I mean, this is also fine. Like, it's just you don't get to disrupt him with your sweet tempo card that is Spell Pierce. That card is so good.
Yeah.
I love that card so much.
Yeah. So if you left the Spell Piercer, you could counter whatever nonsense is going on.
And if you draw a land, then you just get to play Plating Equip anyways.
Exactly.
2 mana. So Like, because if he's smallpox... Oh, he's just going to pat... Oh, okay. So now we're really... Oh, okay. Oh, wow. So we get to play Ravager, hold up Spell Pierce?
No, because we want to equip the...
Oh, you're right. Equip.
Yeah.
I think we're just... I think you play the other Scourge for the artifact? Yeah.
I think we should definitely play the other Scourge. You know, it's just extra point damage.
So 1 from the Memnite, and how much from the other stuff? How big is this plating? 1, 2, 3, 4 with the base power 5. Fatal Push, target. Oh, get it. Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce.
So yeah, it looks like...
Oh, regrets.
Yeah, it looks like we did miss out on a point of damage.
Yeah, with by not playing the Scourge.
Although Andy also might have wanted to leave up the option of...
Ravager, if he didn't have effects.
Exactly.
I agree. I don't hate that. So this is what, like 6 damage, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 plus base power 1 here plus base power 1. Yeah, 6 damage. Yep.
Okay. 6 damage is going to gain 5.
Go up to 20. Well, go down to 23 now after the Phyrexian mana there. More importantly, he'll put Eric to 13. And yeah, so Spell Pierce, obviously, just great Magic card.
Yeah. So what Eric's really trying to do here is to play another land, Simian Spirit Guide, and then Knight of Souls Betrayal.
Oh my God, Dan. I was like, oh, Dan's making a serious line. No, he's not, actually. 3 mana, though. Let's see what it is. What? Oh, yo!
Well, Flying Tendrils...
Punished!
Flying Tendrils also pretty good line here.
Exile that nonsense. Woo!
Okay. So, Andy, a little bit punished for not playing the Ravager, but I think he did take the correct line here.
So now we just play the Ravager, or no. Yeah, play the Ravager.
Yeah.
This doesn't let you hit with plating this turn.
No, but it does let you hit with one of these things. I think you're pretty close on like normal damage and poison. So this is where you have to kind of pick, like which path are we going to go.
And see, the thing is with the Infect line, it's somewhat like if your dude dies, then like you've sort of wasted this effort, right? Because you don't have it's not like you have Glistener Elf to come do the last of it. But we'll put a poison counter on Eric. He'll draw a card. Incidentally, Winding Constrictor is really, really bad against Infect.
Yes, it is.
It does. So Eric this turn can go play Liliana, make you sack your Ravager for no value, and then probably just get domed by this Ink Moth for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Infect.
Well, 5. No.
Yeah, it's 5. It's 4 artifacts plus the base power. Oh, he can use the Blink Moth to animate itself?
Yeah.
Ooh, right.
Oh, well, he doesn't have any mana available right now. So he's losing the Ravager.
Now he's losing the Ravager for free, yeah.
Yeah.
So, untap. Draw. So, here you go, animate this.
Hit you for 5?
So you animate, you equip. So animate Ink Moth, equip with the Darksteel, attack, animate Blink Moth with itself.
And it
for
4 artifacts plus base power?
Yeah, for 5. Okay. I mean, alternatively, you can plus your dude with the Blink Moth, but that's like way less mana efficient. So, but Eric is tapped out here, so this should just be a free attack for 5 Infect to put into 6 poison.
And I think that is our route to victory.
I do too.
Andy looks like he drew a reasonable card, so he's...
Right, he's really thinking about what he wants to do with it. Notably, a second plating doesn't get equipped here, which would be a great draw, but it would not be able to be equipped. One of the other things, one of the problems for Eric right now is that he doesn't, he's tapped out. His Fatal Push got Spell Pierce. I don't know how much more instant speed, like man-land good interaction he has, right?
Yeah. So I mean, almost certainly playing 4. Almost certainly playing 4 Fatal Push. There's some number of Dismembers as well that we saw.
This is an attack for
5.
5. Yeah. Did he? And he. Yeah. So he does appear to have animated this. Okay. So we will. Eric's gonna think about it, but I don't think he has options.
Yeah. Andy also had the line of not equipping the cranial plating, but killing Liliana with it.
Oh yeah, he could have killed the Lily, and then I guess like
just hit for 1 Infect, but kill the Lily, if he wanted to keep the card in hand.
Right. I don't know if he cares. Doesn't seem like he cares.
Right.
But I think they're just discussing, you know, I can animate this with the mana that I make from it.
Yeah. So one thing that Eric could have, and almost certainly does, is Slaughter Pact.
Yeah, true. Slaughter Pact is a good card.
Yeah.
So 5 damage, put Eric to 6 infect, and now Eric's got some searching to do. And by searching, I mean he needs to draw another Fatal Push. Fatal Push, by the way, great card against creature lands. Like really, just they have CMC 0, guys, get them.
Fatal Push is just a hoser for this deck. Like,
that's true.
It's 1 mana Terminate against the Ravager. Like, you know,
pretty decent. Untapped draw. I think you saw land drawn. And because Andy is at such a high life total, 22, like there's Eric, you know, he's trying to grind the game out and win with like 7 rack activations or something.
Right.
Which is, Andy is not giving him time in the slightest to do that.
Right. You know, Andy's hand, Andy's board is pretty embarrassing against exactly removal. Instant speed removal.
Sure.
But, you know, he might not have it.
It's fine. Plus, discard cards.
All right.
Discards a Ravager.
Okay.
Raven's Crime gets discarded. I mean, I think that, like, you hit him for 6, right? Like, as long as he doesn't have removal, you win this turn. This is an attack.
Okay, so this is
20.
This is now the Fatal Push check.
Yeah, really. Do you have the card Fatal Push or Dismember or now Victim of Night is good? There's a lot of things that are good here, but if you're Andy, you just go. You can't wait around.
No, because
it's go time.
Like Spell Pierce would have kind of been a crazy draw here.
Yeah, if he drew the other Spell Pierce, like he can't lose, but
right.
We'll see. Animate this. Sure.
No, I would equip with the. Well, nothing gives -1/-1, right? So like leaving up Blink Moth to protect
Golgari
it.
Charm. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just playing out the Mem Knight. So.
Oh, so this is super lethal then.
Yeah.
Like, if Eric is at 6, even without the Mem Knight and without the Blink Moth self-activation, this is good enough. And he's thinking about something. Bam, equip this. Yeah, woo, jam. Get him.
Attack. Do we got removal? It looks
I see it.
We got a victim.
No. Oh, and he's out of cards. Oh no, the Inkmoth's gonna die. Uh-oh. That might have been the turnaround.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still worried about like the 3-turn clock that is the Blink Moth, but Andy does need to top deck some stuff.
All right, it looks like Eric does have a rack in hand.
Okay, pretty good. He can, you know, increase the clock that he's got going now. Whew. Getting there. Deck.
Yeah.
And while Eric is considering this play decision, thank you to Demon Wiggle Waggle for the follow. We appreciate you following the stream and hope you will return for more evenings of Wednesday Night Modern here at MTG Card Market in the future. But yeah, so now Eric has, you know, I don't really know the context of his hand. He's been pretty good at hiding it from me no matter how much I try to lean around the monitor to see it. So we shall see.
Yeah, so we
know he has an active Liliana, right? So if he minuses the Lily, he gets the Mem Knight off the board. That's
that's a Ratchet Bomb.
Whoa, okay. Whew, and there's a rack. So this cranial plating is not long for this world.
Okay, so Eric is has not like.
Now does he plus the Lily or does he keep his last card?
Well, so the Ratchet Bomb, like presumably you want to take it to 2.
Yeah, of course.
To get the plating, which means that if you do that, you're pricing into like lilying the Mem Knight.
Yep, and that'll happen. Sacrifice a creature.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
And it's worth pointing out, Andy also had the line of, like, keep the Mem Knight around if he wanted to, for inexplicable reason.
Yeah, that doesn't seem good.
I think
he'll take 3 damage from the rack.
Yeah.
He does have enough lands and, you know, to animate and go to town for 4.
4, yeah.
Assuming he doesn't have another... Like, if he has a free artifact here, obviously it's more. And... As, you know, Andy will consider his line with his 1 card in hand. Thank you to Savior Zookeeper for the follow as well. This has been our pleasure casting this for you guys tonight. So, attack you for 4.
Mm-hmm.
Eric says... So Eric is Eric's on a 4-turn clock. Andy's also on a 4-turn... Andy also has a 4-turn clock. I don't know what Andy's last card is, but... I'm guessing. I mean, he holds it. He keeps it in hand. Oh, but the plating is going away soon.
The plating is going away. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll put put Eric down to 9.
Yeah, so Andy's going to get one more hit with the plating.
Right, and then he's going to have to, hope that the rest of it works out.
I mean, but Andy has a lot of, like, good draws going forward, right? Because the plating has to die. And once it does, like, now you can play your, Ravager, you can play your Overseer.
Sure. I just, like, I'm worried because it is a fight, like, A, there's another Lily about to hit the table, but B, like, it's so slow to kill someone with just a Blink Moth. Like, I think that with the Lily especially plussing to keep the rack, like, doing 3 every turn, I'm worried for his...
Oh, well, so you can math it out, right? So the next attack will put Eric at 5. And Andy's going to be is on a 6-turn clock.
Right.
So currently Andy is going to win this race.
Oh, and he flips that Galv Blast would have been so good.
Yeah. But this is just more damage here.
Oh, man, that Galv Blast would have actually been insane.
Yeah, unfortunate, but like
you gotta make
necessary.
decisions.
Yeah, especially like Eric didn't have like the Lily on board.
Yeah, so here's I think here's the call: animate Blink Moth, equip plating.
Yeah.
Attack you for 4, put you to 5.
Yep. This is the last time you're gonna be able to do that. Might as well.
Yeah, the problem here is this is a 5-turn clock from Andy, but Eric's clock is 4 turns because he has a Mutavault.
Oh right, that's right. We completely forgot about Mutavault.
Put you to 5. Last card, not going to find it out. Ratchet Bomb, untap. Ratchet Bomb doing work. This is not a deck that I would recommend playing Engineered Explosives in, though, because I don't think you can set it higher than 1.
Andy, unfortunately, being forced to discard whatever he drew as well.
Right, so he's really going to need to just top that. Okay, so, woo, goodbye.
A little surprised to see that actually being cracked there. You can crack it at any point, and this would have forced Andy to have to like pay the mana to equip it.
Right.
Because else you could just sit there and was like, yeah, that's fine, I'll take 1.
Go to 12 here. So yeah, this is quite a fast clock now. It is 5 damage a turn. We'll see what he's drawn. Blockers for Mutavault are good. Like Vault Scourge is like, I guess like it gets you Lily minused on, but I don't know. This is just you're in a tough spot here if you're Andy, and this is exactly what the A-Rack deck excels at. That Ratchet Bomb, super duper clutch.
Yeah, the Ratchet Bomb. It gives you an answer to everything. It just takes a long time.
Okay, yeah. Chat correcting me on life totals. Thank you, chat.
Yes, because the rack trigger.
Yeah.
And this is super rough. I don't know what Andy can draw to get himself out of this.
I mean, another plating wouldn't be
bad.
Actually,
no. We're completely wrong. Andy just has to draw Galv Blast and wins the game.
You're right. Vault Scourge for full mana cost. Pass. See, I'm not sure I like the full mana cost because honestly, like it's gonna get Lily minused, right?
Yeah, I think this is fine though. Your plan doesn't change, right?
Right.
Your only out is draw Galv Blast.
True.
And this line is still good.
Minus. Animate this target. Okay, so the Mutavault's gonna die instead.
Sure.
Or not the Mutavault, the Blink Moth.
Yep.
Okay, so he's hoping to get some sort of life gain out of the Vault Scourge in the face of the rack triggers. Yeah. Also, chat pointing out that now there's only 2 artifacts in play.
Oh, that's right.
Metalcraft. Galv Blast is not just Better Bolt.
We did just drop off of Metalcraft.
So now you animate the Mutavault, go to town, put him to 7. He's gonna go to 4 off the rack trigger. 4 and draws an Ink Moth Nexus.
Okay.
Can attack you.
You have to attack.
You have to attack. You can't not attack. I mean, yeah. I think you play the Ink Moth as a blocker as well. To block the Mutavault. Plus, then the Mutavault like only hits for 1 now. Oh, man! And the problem is that he's not like if he had a few more poison counters, that Ink Moth would be insane. But instead, it's too slow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the funny part now is, like, remember, I don't know, 10 turns ago where we're like, this is where you pick your battle. Are you going to go poison or you're going to do real damage?
Yeah. Yep.
Those six poison counters.
This is why the poison kill is not, like, it's just a little bit too inconsistent sometimes.
Yeah. But
that 6 counters just could be 6 damage.
The 6 counters could be 6 damage.
Oh, feels bad. Yeah, that's true.
You had one of both, so it was just 1-1, and, like... You had one of both, so it was just 1-1, and, like...
Just picked the wrong
You picked the wrong one, yeah.
Oof.
The Inkmoth one was a couple turns faster, and normally that is fine, but, like, because there's so many live draws, maybe I would favor the damage.
Okay, so attack.
Especially if you keep in Galv Blast, all of a sudden now you're drawing live.
Attacking Lily, though? I guess it forces him to sack it to get off the board, but I'm not sure I like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like that either.
We'll put him at 5, though.
Because all Eric...
Oh, wait, no. You have to block with the Inkmoth now, but...
You have to block with the Inkmoth, which means that...
And then
if you minus on the Vault Scourge, all of a sudden, you're at 2, there's a rack trigger coming, and
well,
Eric...
I mean, if you block with the Inkmoth, you're still at 5.
No, you're going to go to 2 for
but the rack trigger puts you to 2, yes.
The rack trigger puts you at 2. There's going to be another rack trigger the next turn. You have a Darksteel and a Glimmer Void in play.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Seems actually pretty not great. Again, this game very, very close. But
extremely.
Goodbye Vault Scourge. And now we force you to sack one of your remaining lands to block this.
Yeah.
Swam. Oh.
Are life totals correct?
Our life totals might not be right, ladies and gentlemen. Because he should be dead, so we're going to put his life at question mark.
But low.
Question mark, but low. Yeah, I think that some life totals might have gotten mixed up. If only there were like an infect burn spell. Actually, I take that back.
There are.
Really?
Yes, they're very expensive.
Okay. That's going to do it. If you drew an Etched Champion off the top, but not enough to beat the rack trigger. So... Eric Keldson on 8-Rack. Going to get it 2-0 over Andy Bayer on Affinity. Andy just coming up a little bit short.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately it hinged on, like, do you want to do Infect or do you want to do normal damage?
The Infect kill is so seductive because you're like, oh, if I just do this twice, I win. But, like...
I think it's the right choice.
Really?
Eric was Hellbent. Oh, no, Eric was not Hellbent.
No,
Eric had
he had tons of cards.
I revised my statement. If Eric was not, if Eric was Hellbent, I 100% go for the Infect kill, right? Because it's a turn shorter. But considering he's not, he almost certainly has removal. I hit for normal damage.
Yeah, so we're gonna see some sideboarding stuff. You saw Ancient Grudge, Spell Pierce, Thought Seizes came in, which I'm not a huge fan of against 8-Rack. I think you don't want to be disrupting them as much as you just want to be like slaying them.
Yeah,
it looks like some Galv Blast, Single Pest, Etched Champion came out. I like the takeouts. Etched Champion just seems quite bad against EX.
Yeah, Etched Champion seems very bad. I would definitely take out all the Etched Champions. Galv Blast, they do add a bit of closing speed.
They do. That's one thing that is important to note. Yeah, I think that I'm not particularly skilled at either deck, so I'm not sure about the affinity sideboarding decisions, but like all things considered, it seems like it seems pretty reasonable. You see Eric there with the flaying tendrils. Eric there also has the ratchet bomb, both of which we saw to great effect.
Yeah, the ratchet bomb a little less so. It just happened to be very good, but a lot of times it's just kind of clismically slow.
Yeah, I mean...
You're killing, like, for example...
Ooh, Eric does have a Knight of Souls Betrayal on the board. I just saw that, so you should be happy.
Oh, I mean, that's exactly what we want to see, right?
Yeah, that is definitely...
It kills...
Yeah, they're looking at it now, Dan. You should be...
It kills most of the things in the Affinity deck.
This card is... so actually, I remember watching... Tom Ross... play 8-Rack in the open that he top 8'd with it against Infect back before they banned Probe, and he had Knight of Souls Betrayal out, so the Infect deck like literally can't do anything until it finds Viridian Corruptor, but it also shrinks your Mutavaults. So Tom Ross was literally like attack you with he didn't have a rack or anything either. He was just like attack you with my 1/1 Mutavault like every single turn, and it was just like
eventually that would get there.
Excruciating.
Yeah, I mean, the one problem there is like that's the matchup where like if you're Infect, you board in every Nature's Claim,
Oh yeah, you just like
because it hits like so many things.
It hits their rack, it hits their affliction, but it also hits the Knight of Souls Betrayal.
Right. Whereas if you're playing Jund or something, like all of a sudden it's like, how many Nature's Claims can I justify for the maybe you had a Knight of Souls Betrayal?
I mean, that's how you punish them, right? They don't do any, and you're like, 4 mana, double black. It's not Damnation. It's Knight of Souls Betrayal.
All right. And with that, it looks like the round is wrapping up here. We actually might cut to a short break before...
6?
Yeah, before we jump into round 3 here. Just,
4th. Yeah. That was round 3.
Before we jump into the 4th round. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, we are going to go to a 6-minute break. We will be back before the timer. In the meantime, though, Chad, if you have decks for the last round that you want to see, let us know. We'll do what we can to try to get those on stream. But yeah, we'll be back in exactly 6 minutes. I will at least be here. Dan might be talking with people out there, but I will beat the timer back. See you guys in 6 minutes.
talk about how Big Tobacco is investing in the future of this country. A recent study found that low-income neighborhoods are more likely to have tobacco retailers near schools than other neighborhoods. How convenient. In fact, Big Tobacco went to the Supreme Court to keep tobacco advertising near schools. Cool. Huh. Nothing says commitment to youth like a hard-won legal battle. It's not a coincidence. It's profiling. Don't let it go unseen. Enlist at thetruth.com. Be the generation that ends smoking.
Mike. All right, and we are back for our fourth and final round here at MTGCardMarket Wednesday Night Modern. Should be getting pairings any second now. But in the meantime, we had a lot of States tournaments this weekend. And I do mean a lot of States tournaments, which means that we have a ton of modern deck lists just sort of floating around on the internet. So let's look at some interesting stuff here.
I mean, it varies, right? We've got a lot of, tier 1 decks that you would kind of, expect to see
Through the Breach, Death Shadow, Abzan, but also Esper Mill.
Which one? Wisconsin.
All right, Wisconsin, how did you get smoked by a Miller? Let's see here.
And while we
get pairings first, yeah. It's like the Eldrazi mirror again.
Yeah, but they're also the 3-0s.
They are the 3-0s. Wait, what's this one? Oh. We can justify this. Alright. So, Dan is going to hop out and get us a match real quick. I'm going to take a look at this Esper Mill list briefly. Alright. So, Hedron Crab, Ashiok Nightmare Weaver, playing Path to Exile, Trapmaker's Snare. Yo! Alright, y'all. Look at this nonsense. This card, the consistency goes up so much. 2 mana instant. This basically reads 2 mana instant, search your library for an archive trap. Yo! They fetch, you have 2 mana up, and then you get the archive trap? Whoa! Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Oh, it's if an opponent searched this turn. I was about to say that would be way too busted with archive trap. But, wow, I have literally never seen this card in my life. I'm so happy that it exists, though, because that seems great. Fetch. In response, I'll cast Trapmaker Snare. Guaranteed they read it. They'll read it the first time, and they'll also read it the second time when you cast the second one. So, yeah, this deck seems great. So, Ensnaring Bridge to lock stuff down, Path to Exile, Fatal Push, Visions of Beyond to refuel, Hedron Crab for that landfall goodness. Yeah, so, pretty standard-looking mill list, but Trapmaker Snare is awesome. Definitely excited about that card. I will throw it down to the play overlay, though, just so that we can get some resetting done on the overlays here. And this is important because we are going to watch a full match this time, not just Game 3, but a full match of Mono Green Belcher versus something.
So, our 3-0s for today are 2 Ben Eldrazi players and Eric, who was on
Pox.
Yes. That we just saw. But instead, we kind of want to see someone get Belchered here. And Greg is 2-1, so we
can justify this.
Yeah, this is justifiable.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I learned that in the last round, Greg was going to die to spirits on the swing, activated Belcher on his opponent's turn to try to kill one of their creatures, just immediately flipped over a land on top of his deck. Belcher did nothing. And then on the untap said, I will die on the swing, might as well activate Belcher again. Activated Belcher and did 23 damage with 4 lands left in his deck. Do we know what Edric is playing, by the way?
No idea.
Okay, so...
Doesn't matter.
I mean, I don't know. Is he playing Bant? Because if he's not playing Bant, then there's no way he's playing this card. But we'll stop with the name puns now. And get on into it. We're gonna pull up Goblin Charbelcher again, mostly because this card is rad, and also that's the worst art.
No one wants this art.
The mirrored in art, best art. Use this to tilt your opponents in Legacy, folks. Greg looking at his hand. It looks like we have a fish player. All right, fish.
So there, in the post board, there's going to be some counter magic, so Greg can't,
just play a Belcher on 4 and hope it gets there.
Impunity.
Both players are going to mulligan though, and I'm not sure. Oh, this doesn't feel great. Merfolk, I think probably mulligan's a little bit better than Belcher though.
Yeah, the mulligans have to favor the not combo deck.
Absolutely.
Where like you require the synergies.
For sure. But we'll see.
I'll correct that statement. When combo decks can have like a nut draw, like it's fine. I don't know if Greg is capable of like having a nut draw.
I don't know what his nut draw would look like. I'm sure it exists.
I talked to him. He mentioned there are wall of roots and there are also Utopia Sprawls. So
yeah,
presumably it's like just a bunch of ramp.
Well, I mean, so the thing is this deck is trying to play as few actual lands as it can, in order to play, in order that its Belcher activations aren't just garbage. Interestingly, if you Spreading Seas a Utopia Sprawled Forest, the Utopia Sprawls fall off.
It does. That's kind of an unpleasant interaction for the...
Is that like triple Tidebinder Mage? What is in his hand? Oh, those are just his islands. Okay, I was very confused. Okay, so draws a land. So, here's the thing. Every land that Greg draws is one fewer land in his deck.
Yes.
Which means that his Belchers get better.
So, a Spreading Seas here would be absurd.
But it's not, because it's just an island. And okay, we'll attack with the Curse Catcher here.
Alright, Greg's on 19.
Yep.
And Edric, with the still good but not great turn 2 Aether Vial.
Yeah, that's always feel bad. You're like, play Curse Catcher, play Aether Vial. Right. Okay, so we'll make 2 mana. We'll put a forest into play.
Okay.
I think we're going to put a Utopia Sprawl on the forest.
Alright, 1 mana floating.
Does have the ability to do a bunch of stuff. Attune with Aether. You're good, says Edric. So agree. Yeah. So Greg is just trying to strip all the basic forests out of his deck. Or, in this case, the wastes as well. I'm not sure what the wastes is for.
Yeah, I'm just a little curious on what the waste...
What does it do?
There is the one card that ramps you.
Oh,
that's
yes,
abundant growth if you have a waste.
You're right. I just don't remember what it's called.
It's for
2 mana floating.
And
Ancient Stirrings for one of it. Curse Catcher, not a viable sack here.
No, that's a...
There's TKS in this deck. Oh, okay, so I guess it's like a ramp deck that also has Belcher in it. Seems good. There's also a Smasher, too. You can play it next turn. I think, yeah, you're just going to be like, whoop, Smasher. Great. Yeah, and he got the wastes, so, like, this is... Oh, wow, so this is, like... This is weird. What is happening? Okay, and that's going to be...
Lay of the Land.
Lay of the Land, yep. Search for another basic.
So now Edric is... does he want to counter this? He's got a Master of Waves in hand, so I'm inclined to want to keep as much like
devotion on board.
Yeah,
I think the problem is he has more than one Master of Waves in hand. Like, I don't know if he's going to be able to pressure Greg before he just starts getting hit by Reality Smasher.
Like, what's better than the first Master of Waves? The second one.
This is true.
Because the elemental buff does stack, and all of a sudden, like having a bunch of 3/2s, that's
he does. His hand is like 2 Master of Waves in the 4th island, so that's pretty good. Greg will fall to 18 here off this attack. But he does have Smasher on the untap, so... I guess Smasher and Thought Knot are just good non-Belcher hits, right? Oh, but he drew a Belcher. Oh, Greg, please. Take us to the land of Belcher, Greg.
I think he's just much more likely to win if he just plays the...
He also has a Garrick. Ooh, oh, wow. Okay, so he can do a lot of stuff.
So he can play the Garrick for free.
Yes. That's the gist of what I understand about this turn. Garrick. And that's Garrick, which one? Wild Speaker? Garrick.
Untap 2 lands, which
we're looking at the promo art here, but untap your 2 lands is pretty decent. Untap 2 lands.
I'm going to target both lands that make 2 mana.
Wow. Amazing. And now we just play... Oh my god. And attack you. So... Edric will go to 15. See, the thing is like, if he draws a Lord here and can vial it in and then play Master of Waves, then it's nutty. Yeah. Like, you just want that double blue devotion, but instead he draws Cavern of Souls, so... Not quite as good. I mean, I'm guessing he'll name Merfolk with this and play Master of Waves. This will bring along 2 elementals.
Mm-hmm. But, so Greg next turn has...
He has Belcher plus activation.
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. And because he'll attack with the Smasher again, presumably, he'll, he won't have to do as much damage. And this Curse Catcher will go after the Garruk, bringing it down to 3. Draw step, draw a card. Oh, please do the Belcher things.
I mean, you 100% do the Belcher thing, right?
Attack you down to 10.
Yeah, Adrian also has the option of trading his board for the Smasher.
Play. Search for... Oh, okay, so search another basic out of his deck. He has to look harder and harder for those.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the count is getting pretty low.
So, like, theoretically, he could just win the game here.
Yes.
I think you should try, right? You have to try.
There's no reason not to. I mean, you play... Because you can do it again next turn.
Right.
You have 5 lands in play. You just do it again next turn.
Untap these. Great. Play Belcher. And now we are going to get a read. And Greg is like, cool, I'm activating my Belcher. And you probably can't stop this.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, for 4. Yeah, so for 4, so Edric goes to 6. Okay, so now the question is, does Greg live here? Yeah, there's not enough hasty power. That's fair. Okay. So yeah, another island here for Edric.
So Edric can play another Master Waves and, like, have, infinite power blockers, right?
Sure. It's just then he gets Belchered.
Right. But Belcher for 6, I mean, he can miss. And if he misses, all of a sudden, Greg is just dead.
Yes, this is true. Because this Master of Waves makes 3 more elementals, and all his elementals are...
3/2s now.
3/2s now, which is pretty good.
Yeah, if I was Edric, I was also hit with a couple of these things, just get as much damage in as possible.
Yeah. Ooh, wow. Do not attack the Garruk. Just hit him. So we'll see what happens. So Garruk dies to those.
And you take 5?
And you take 5.
I think I would have preferred
everything to Greg. Yeah,
put you to 9.
Right. So I think he drew a land, which is good because it would have been on top of his deck for the Belcher. Let's see. All right, here we go. Whee! Mind Stone.
Okay.
I think you just draw with this,
draw
potentially strip a basic again.
Yep.
Draw. Don't know what he drew. But he does have 1 more mana if he drew a 1 mana spell. He'll attack for 5 here.
This, I think you have to soak up every point of damage.
Yeah, you triple block with these elementals, right?
Yeah, just like... And that's part of the reason I don't like this...
Attack the Garruk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think if you get, like... The Belcher just is, like... If you don't,
although if you don't kill the Garruk, he just overruns.
Oh, that's true. Okay,
right.
So this is going to be 1 to one to Edric. Edric will go to 5, and now Greg's like, okay.
Let's.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6,
7. Scoop.
10, 11.
All right. So 10 damage.
Okay.
Pretty reasonable. Mono Green Belcher gets a game, folks. Up 1-0 over Fish. Okay, so I didn't realize that there's like Eldrazi and Garruk in this deck too, which makes sense because you can't just be on the Belcher plan. But like, I think that, it makes me feel much better for Greg if he doesn't have the namesake card. Right? Yeah. Like, he has a sort of plan B.
Yeah. I'm not convinced, But it is like adorable at the very least. At the very least.
Oh, I mean, I'm not saying it's tier 0 either. I just again, it's like only Greg would bring Belcher in a modern deck to modern. Got to give him shoutouts for that. So
only Greg would be capable of brewing something like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Belcher deck lists do exist. Mm-hmm. I think that this is not Greg is. I feel like this is not necessarily something of Greg probably didn't invent the whole deck, but I do think that he, the willingness to come and play this, he could go 3-1 tonight. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
He beat Spirits, and apparently he beat something other than Amulet, and things are great.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude has Chancellor of the Tangle in his deck.
I don't know how I feel about that. That seems a little loose.
I mean, it's quite good though if you think about it.
Because without LED, there's no turn 1.
No
Belcher activation.
If you think about Chancellor, right? It's just in your opening hand. If you have a 1-mana, a green 1-mana spell, so one of the Searches or an Ancient Stirrings, it's just better than a land. Because
because the land taps for mana on the second turn as well.
Right. But what I'm saying is if you have the Chancellors in your deck instead, so you have 4 Chancellors, right? Mm-hmm. If they're in your opener, they basically let you cast one of your search spells to strip a land out of your deck. But if they're not in your opener, they're not lands that'll stop your Belcher.
Sure. So, but I mean, if they're in your opener, they're Lotus Petals.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can afford to have Lotus Petals in this deck.
I think you sort of have to keep your land count down. This deck can't be playing more than 9 or 10 lands, maybe.
I mean, yeah, that's completely reasonable. And this also lets you turn 1 Wall of Roots and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So
you can turn 1, play Forest, use the mana from Chancellor to Utopia Sprawl it, and then cast a Wall of Roots, make mana attune.
Yeah, seems great. So we're going to go to game 2 here. Mono Green Belcher, up a game over Fish. If you're Edric, I assume you just have brought in all your counter magic. Mm-hmm. Also, if you want to get tempo-y, you might play Hercules. It's sort of unclear to me if that's good, actually.
I think Hercules is a little too niche.
Yeah, it's if he plays Belcher... I mean, I guess it's the only time it's good is if you play it and... If you keep tempoing them off being able to activate their Belcher.
Yeah, you saw a Reality Smasher, so that's 100% there are TKSs in this deck as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, if you get, Thought Knotted and you're sitting with, Hercules in hand, that's
true.
It doesn't feel great, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, makes them think a little bit. Then they're lol, dead card.
Yeah. Alright, Greg's going to go to 6 again.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I imagine with this deck, you're going to have to mulligan a good number of the hands.
Just like regular Belcher, right?
No, I mean, regular Belcher has a lot of redundancy.
That's true. Regular Belcher also has the alternative of casting Empty the Warrens for 10 on turn 1, so...
Yeah, which, against a lot of matchups, that's just good enough. If you're playing this, I'm going to play, turn 1 Delver, and I make 10 1/1s...
Lose real hard to
You're not going to race
though.
that, yeah.
You get, the Miracles player goes you make 10 goblins, and they're oh yeah, I'll just play a top, and then they find Terminus.
Pretty good.
All right, so let's see here. Greg looking at what might be a more keepable. He has 2 soccer. He says go. All right, scry card, bottomed.
Uh-oh, that was a very fast.
Chancellor, dude, I'm telling you, it's Lotus Petal. It's great.
Yeah, so he does
have to cast the attune.
Yeah, he does have an attune in hand. So
but Curse Catcher? No, Aether Vial. Okay, if it was a Curse Catcher, that'd be great. So Chancellor effect, make a green mana, traverse the Ulvenwald. Looking for a land. Also, Greg has nice looking forests. Attune with Aether. Also looking for a land. Nice. Well, I don't know what. Do you know what set those forests are? They're old.
I do not.
Okay.
You know, Greg did a surprising number of things, considering he kept the 0 lander.
All right. Over to Edric. He'll fire off a Master of the Pearl Trident.
Yeah, he's gonna play Master instead of the second Aether Vial in hand.
Okay. Greg will play a land. Probably just play a Steve Mindstones. I like Steve. Steve. Play Steve. He has a TKS too.
So if you
they're snow-covered forests. Okay, he'll play the Mindstone.
If he plays the Mindstone, this gives him outs to like if he draws a land.
Sure. Agreed. Silvergill Adept. Revealing Miro Regery. And draw a card. And attack you for 2.
Did Edric forget to uptick the Aether Vial?
He might have.
Right, because it's still on 1. Presumably with double Regery in hand, you don't want it on 1.
Agreed. Ancient Stirring is going to be cast here. Probably looking for Belcher or another land. He'll get another land. So here I think you go like land, play Sakura Tribe Elder.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fine. And then you'll get your wastes with the Tribe Elder.
Also, you have the Mind Stone for colors.
Oh, you're right. Good point.
Yeah.
Draw a step here from Edric. He will... So, he's only going to get through... Like, one of these is going to get blocked. He doesn't have Island Walk on.
Yeah, so he's only going to attack for 2. Ooh, third land lets him play Regery, though.
Pretty good.
Yeah, so all of a sudden this attack for 2 becomes an attack for 3.
Yeah. I mean, I assume Greg is going to block and then sack to the Silvergill. The problem is that Greg is going to be dead very quickly if he doesn't have something. This is a lot of power on board. There's a 4...
This is
4,
3,
4,
4,
3.
This is 14 power on board?
It's 8 plus 6, yeah. So yeah, he will get the wastes to enable the Thought-Knot Seer in his hand, although he could do it the Mind Stone, as you pointed out. So he does take 3 from this, going down to 15. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried if I'm Greg.
Yeah, especially like the Belcher plan, it's unlike the Legacy version where you activate Belcher and you win the game. This is you activate Belcher and like
you could do 0.
You probably just do 4 or 5. That's
right.
like probably the average value.
So here Greg can go Garrick and then play a Steve, but I just don't know if it's good enough. He can also go... He's got 5 mana back up to... down to 1, up to 3. He's 1 short of playing the Belcher. He's 1 short of playing the Thought-Knot. The problem is that he has all this, like... Play the Wall, I guess? Yeah, so Walrus is like a blocker, right?
Walrus is also a free roll in that you still can play the TKS here.
Yeah, agreed. Or you could, YOLO play the Belcher, but I think he's going to play the Thought-Knot instead. Going to take a look at the hand here. It seems like it's a pretty good hand, though. Harbinger of the Tides, Dismember, or Tragic Slip? Regery and Aether Vial.
I think if you don't take the Regery, you just lose, right? Because you play a second...
It is a Dismember, so...
If you
second Regery swing is a lot.
Well, second Regery, don't forget, it's already a Regery in play, so it just taps your TKS.
Oh, true. Yeah, so he's deciding between the Dismember or the Regery. I mean, either way, I'm not sure Greg is going to win this one.
Yeah.
He says the Regery, though. So going with your preferred line. Dismember back to hand. Says go, but this is somewhat worrisome. Yeah, the Regery would also let you, like...
Well, so the problem is with the...
Harbinger?
Yeah, with the Harbinger, that's an ETB trigger, right? So you can, and with Regery, that's a cast trigger, right? So you just tap the TKS, bounce it?
Yes. Ooh, good point. We'll see if Edric recognizes this.
Okay.
So another Silvergill draw. Wow, really keeping the hand supplied here.
And,
is that a Vendilion click? It is.
I mean, I'm very confident if I'm in Edric's position. I think the bounce your TKS play, I think, is where you want to be.
Yeah, he looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Cast trigger, tap this. And then this will ETB and I will bounce it.
Yeah.
And Greg is like, that is a lot of damage over there.
It is quite a bit of damage. You still get a block with the...
With the wall.
Yeah. Let's not forget, you still get a draw, too. If Edric draws a land, I think he just wins.
Because you mutavaults him?
He just mutavaults him.
Oh, and he did draw the land, so...
Alright, can't attack with the Harbinger or the Silvergill.
That's a lot.
The biggest thing is
4, 4, 4, so 12 plus 3 plus 3, 18 damage.
Yeah, so you can block the Silvergill and take 14 instead.
Yeah.
That's your only block. Or you can block the Mutavault also, which is you also block for. But point being, you can go to 1.
The problem is I don't think you can make enough mana.
Yeah, like I don't know what your line is after this. Like you won't die this turn, but it doesn't get any better.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah, you're not even like red. You're not top decking Bonfire. Although maybe the Utopia. Oh, there are no Utopias.
That's gonna do it. Yeah. Greg Pino gonna scoop it up here. 1-1 to Merfolk. Dan gonna step out of the booth for just a brief moment. But yeah, I mean, that was basically Merfolk just having a much less clunky draw, and Belcher not having as crazy a start as we saw last game. So we'll see, if Greg can pull it out here. He has mulligan both games. I'd be interested to see one where he keeps a 7. But yeah, this has been I don't know, Belcher, like the deck seems like it's really just it's interesting to me because it's like a fun goofy combo deck, but in the face of it doesn't interact really with the board. Like it interacts with the hand a little bit with the TKSs, but aside from activate Belcher, shoot your guy, I'm not actually sure how Greg interacts with the board in front of him, and that is somewhat worrying, to say the least. Yeah, we'll see though. I'm not I wouldn't count him out. Combo decks like these can always sort of have the ludicrous draws, but we will. And we'll see if he can pull that off going into the third game here. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. We really appreciate your support of the stream, and we hope you come back for more Wednesday Night Moderns at MTGCardMarket. This is always such a pleasure to do. As our match in the 4th round here continues sideboarding. I'm very interested to see how Merfolk boards for this. I do like the call of, I don't know if the Dismember was main or not, but bringing it in definitely seemed like a good idea. For Edric, just letting him potentially kill the Thought Knot if he wanted to, that sort of thing. But yeah, should be getting a game 3 here shortly, and can we successfully belch them to death?
I mean, we already have once, right?
Right. I mean, so I think honestly, the mono green belcher feels like a. We've had people in the shop who played mono green or mono green splash red ramp, a lot tooth and nail sort of things. So it's possible that this is just sort of swapping out those bigger elements with and the number of lands for sort of some more goofy stuff. And that's why I think it feels so familiar, just Garrick plus on these 2 Utopia Sprawled lands make a billion mana kill.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it kind of has to be a ramp deck, right? The Belcher combo was quite expensive.
Yeah, I mean, 4 plus 3 to activate, pretty pricey.
Right, and you're not interacting with the board very much outside of probably 4 TKSs and 4 Reality Smashers. So you have to win through. You have to win before they do anything reasonable, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so again, we'll see. Coming into this last match. Unmovable is not like this emoting because he doesn't have Fog in the deck. I think Fog would actually be a reasonable sideboard inclusion.
Yeah, I that absolutely seems like a card you want here.
Yeah. There is also another, it's in white, but I was just recently told about this card by my roommate who is going to play it in Spirit sideboard. I think I remember the name now. But they printed this, Fog variant.
Repel the Abominable.
This card This card is kind of entertaining. It's really good when you cast it in response to the Adnos.
Yes. Unless they have Pact Negation.
Yeah, but this is, if they have last card Pact, you weren't going to win anyways, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so, looking at the hand for Greg, he looks like he's going to keep, and it looks like Edric is going to mulligan, so we're going to do a little bit of the reverse.
Yeah, this is going to be the first 7 Greg has.
No, there's like 20 cards that have Fog in their name.
Oh,
but it's right there. Haha! Yeah. So, if we had some of these, maybe we'd be doing a little bit better. Unsure.
There's also a color shifted black version of this,
yes,
right?
there is Darkness.
Yeah.
Which does sometimes see play in Adnos. That's not it, though. Clinging Darkness.
Oh,
there it is. Yeah. Yeah, Time Spiral. So. What great sets. That whole block just so good.
From what I've heard, Time Spiral was not actually a very popular time in Magic. It was apparently, unsurprisingly, very confusing.
I'm shocked. You mean newer players coming into all the rules being broken was bad?
Well, there's also cards, there's a one-ofs where it's like, here's a new mechanic. This is Gravestorm.
Bridge from below. Some of the cards look different in Future Sight.
As a veteran player, I'm sure it would have been a very interesting time. As a beginning player, it must have been a nightmare.
Right. We're gonna have to pull up. We'll pull up Belcher again, and we'll pull up the good art because, quite frankly, whoever decided that the Eternal Masters art was okay was wrong.
All right, so we got Lay of the Land off of Chancellor Mana.
I don't know if that's Lay of the Land, but it does the same thing. I just think I'm not sure exactly what that is. And we'll equip a Utopia Sprawl to this forest. Let's go. Cavern into Aether Vial seems like what you do.
Yeah, Edric has yet to draw Spreading Seas.
I know. Spreading Seas is so good.
See, the funny thing is, Spreading Seas is, atrocious against, a mono, color deck.
Except when you knock their Utopia Sprawl off.
Yeah. So I don't know if necessarily you even keep it in, because it's pretty narrow.
2 mana. First mana goes to Traverse. Just keep fishing for basics.
Yeah, I mean...
Fish them out, fish them out.
Instead of playing, the number of lands you normally would have, you play cards that find you lands.
Play Steve. Sack Steve. Just gonna do this all at once. You only have to search shuffle once. I appreciate it.
It might take a little bit of extra damage because of this, but that's only if Edric goes land to hit you with Mutavault.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not. That seems not super worth
If you're a Merfolk player spent their turn 2 doing that, I'm thrilled.
I'm all about that lifestyle.
Yeah, if you're gonna take turn 2 off to animate a Mutavault and hit me for 2, we're in good shape.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a Cavern, notably Edric not on double blue. So now will just pass the turn, untap for Greg. Greg has to be thrilled.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is the dream, right?
Oh god, he has the Belcher in hand. I think I see a Thrag. Oh, that's not a Thrag test. That's a Chancellor. What am I saying? That would be too reasonable.
You know what's even better?
Belcher.
Your opponent has no blue.
They have Cavern. It's fine.
Yeah, but you're not getting negated or anything like that.
The Tunneling Cat. Where can I find the deck list for this Belcher deck? Well, okay. So there exists an MTG Salvation thread. I will put it in.
Casually from 4 years ago, though.
Well, I mean, those posts are from 4 years ago. We're well on our way into like the 60th page of this thread. So this is from February 17th. This is great.
So Edric is going to fail to make a land drop here. Going to file in a Lord and then swing for 3.
So this is the only deck that I know, or this is the only place I know where you can find the list for this. But now, Greg is going to potentially go off.
He's going to traverse again, get one more land out.
I feel like he has 9 or 10 lands, though, so it's not optimal, but we're doing it anyways.
I mean,
we can go Mind Stone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so he still can activate now.
Yeah.
Just do it, dude. Get him. Yeah. target you. 2, 3, oh, choke. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And he does it! Oh, the 21st card is a forest. Greg Pino goes off for 20 with Belcher. I do not believe it. Oh my god!
Well,
what is happening? He's gonna do it. Just flip 20 non-lands. How hard can it be, right? Oh my god.
Wow.
I apologize to people listening to headphones, but that was insane. Oh, he gets there. Oh, yeah. Don't, oh my god. That was unreal. Actual just 20. Also, the worst chokes I have ever seen in my life. Doesn't matter. Oh my god. Dude, play Belcher on turn 3, activate on turn 4. How do you lose?
DO20.
I think that was turn 4, right?
That was turn 4, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so guys, I'm going to paste this again. This is the MTG Salvation thread about the mono green Belcher list. It's like 60 pages long, so, you know, I'm sure there are lists sort of all over the place in here. Wow. There's also this list from MTG Goldfish. What? Yeah. Yeah, so we'll put it 2-1 here as these players will sideboard. I don't know if I'll put this list from MTG Goldfish in the chat. I don't know if this is definitely not exactly what Greg is playing, because it has like Wormcoil instead of Garrick and stuff. It was, I believe, guys, that was just turn 4. I think he played it. I think he played the Belcher on turn 3 off of the Utopia Sprawled land, and then turn 4. Maybe it was turn 5. I don't know. No, I think it was turn 4 because Edric missed 2 land drops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that is modern mono green Belcher
and
doing the things.
So that'll wrap it up for us tonight.
Yeah,
we'll throw it back to the booth for a couple of quick announcements.
Yeah. All right. So thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. We had a huge turnout in viewership, and we really appreciate you guys, you know, giving us a watch and all the follows and whatnot, and keeping it, you know, having good discussion in the chat. If you're in the Chicagoland area, we definitely want you to come out and play here at MTG Card Market. There are events basically every day of the week. Mm-hmm. And coming up on March 25th, we have, as seen over here, didn't get it right, a standard 1K PPTQ. So yeah, that if you're interested, you know, in playing for some cash and also an invite to the RPTQ, definitely come out. Be more than happy to have you here.
Yeah. MTG Car Market is also vendoring at GP New Jersey this weekend. So if you're going to be attending the Grand Prix, stop by, say hello to the people who are sponsoring this stream. You know, if you have excess cards, there's usually, you know, a good store credit bump as well. Mm-hmm. Other than that, we'd like to thank Zeke 5333 for the follow, and I think that wraps it up for us tonight.
Yeah, we are going to call it a night. It seems like we're late enough in the round that other matches are ending, and we also need to go to bed. So have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching MTG Card Market Wednesday Night Modern.